The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your SuperChats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The New York Jets were obliterated by the New England Patriots, and Joe Benigno is here, and he's not happy. We talk about the Jets with Joe B. The Jake Asman Show starts right now. A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super Chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now. Here we go, here on a Monday, the final Monday of 2025, and thank God we only have one Jets game left in the 2025 season. We are presented by FanDuel. Make sure you bet with FanDuel. Bet against the Jets. You'll make money. Bet against the Jets to have an interception. You'll make money. For more on the Jets, we say hello to our guy, the host of the Oh the Pain podcast, Joe B. Joe Benigno. Joe, my God, I just the floor is yours on where we start, because of all the debacles we've seen in recent Jet history, yesterday was as bad as any of them.
Yesterday was non-competitive, bro. I mean, the defense was unbelievable. But you know what? It's been non-competitive for 4 weeks. They lost 34-10 to the Dolphins in a game where they were down 21-0 with 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. They got steamrolled in Jacksonville 48-20, made Trevor Lawrence look like John Elway. They got bombed, even though it was close early, by a Saint team, 29-6. That's on the rise. That looks like they have their quarterback. They won again yesterday. I know they beat the Titans, but they won 4 in a row. Looks like they got their quarterback and their coach. And then yesterday was the ultimate disaster against New England. And let's be honest, if Bill Belichick was the coach in New England, bro, they would have put 60 on him yesterday. You know, Vrabel, give him credit for calling the dogs off, because that's what he did. It easily could have been certainly a 50-burger on the Jets yesterday. That was a non-competitive football game. And let's be honest, bro. You know, right now, Ohio State, Georgia, Indiana, you can make a case for basically everybody in the college football playoff could beat the Jets. And I'm not, and I don't even think it's debatable, bro. Fernando Mendoza would eat up the Jet defense. He would eat them up. This is how bad they are. I really think, and I've been through it all, bro, this is the worst team we've ever had. I think this is worse than the 1-15 Cotai team in 1996. I think this is worse than the Adam Gase 2-14 team in 2020. I think this is the worst team we've ever had. They are absolutely non-competitive. The defense is beyond the pale of, it's not an NFL defense. Obviously, everybody that wanted to find out about Brady Cook, well, we found out. He's not an NFL quarterback. I think we all can agree on that. The only good thing that came out of yesterday was Breece Hall finally getting his 1,000 yards, and it was good to see that big touchdown run there at the end for Breece. You know, I mean, I don't know what else to say. And how do you bring this coach back, bro? This coach, he is not an NFL head coach. You're really going to bring this guy back again next year? Are you really? You know, we are set up with all this draft capital now, okay? And I don't think we're going to get on. I don't think we're getting Mendoza. The Raiders are going to get the number 1 pick, and they're going to take him, okay? You know, we'll get into, you know, what they should do, how it's going to play out if they wind up staying at number 3. You know, we can get into all the machinations of that. Number 1, Woody Johnson's got to wake up, smell the coffee. He's got to follow the lead of one of the best owners there's ever been in Robert Kraft and get rid of this guy, just like he did with Gerard Mayo after 1 year, and bring a legitimate coach in here. Mike McCarthy comes to mind. I would keep Muji. I think Muji deserves to pick these draft picks. I mean, he made that Colt trade, which is, Gardner's hurt again. The Colts are in a free fall. I don't know what's the Colt pick now, bro. Do you know? Does it stay at 18? Has it moved?
It's 18. It could move with another loss. And again, I mean, that trade looks great. Some of the in-season trades they made look pretty promising. I have no problem with Muji. So I'm with you, Joe. And here's really the bottom line, right? Because people will sit here and say, you can't get rid of a coach after 1 year. Let's be honest with ourselves with what we're watching. What does Aaron Glenn do well as a head coach? Why are we not going to be having the same conversation a year from now when the Jets get off to this brutal start and then he's dead coach walking? Why are we going to let this coach, who has done nothing and proven nothing and every big decision has backfired in his face, why are we now going to let him identify the quarterback they want, draft, and try and develop that guy? This coaching staff is an abomination. There's no foundation being laid here. There's nothing. So the idea that, you just keep Glenn because, you can't get rid of a coach after just 1 year, that's total nonsense. Look what your eyes are telling you, Jet fans. This is not normal. It's one thing to lose. They have been non-competitive at a historic rate these last 4 games. It's an abomination.
Yep. And look, we thought they were actually going in the right direction. You know, they beat Atlanta. They win 3 out of 5 games. They look like a team, and now they've just gone into the complete tank. I mean, it's a complete tank job, bro. And it's not, let's be real. It's not just this quarterback who's not a professional quarterback. This defense is beyond. I mean, they can't stop anything. This game was over in the first drive of the game. They walked down the field in 6 plays like it was nothing. It's hard. The only guy I'll give you, there's one guy, and I don't know about Thomas. He's hurt, so I'll keep him out of it. We'll bring him back, AZ Thomas. The only guy in the defense I would bring back is Malachi Moore. That's it. The only one who shows any kind of a pulse on that defense. Everybody else stinks. I know Phillips has been okay, Griggs, whatever. They're hard. It's brutal, bro. They are not a professional NFL defensive team. The offensive line is okay. Simpson's got to go. Get him out. I don't know what you're going to do with Vera Tucker, but the rest of the offensive line is okay. That's fine. We'll see when Wilson comes back. I told you I would have traded him too for a number 1 pick. We'll see. Wilson coming back. Mitchell looks like he got something. Mechie looks like he could be okay. I would bring Breece Hall back. I'd give him a 3-year deal. I don't want to see Breece Hall go to Kansas City and turn into Saquon Barkley. I mean, I just don't want that to happen. They never use him right either. This guy needs to catch the ball more out of the backfield. We can get into that, on and on and on. But Aaron Glenn cannot come back here. It is a big mistake. Woody, you're making another fatal mistake when you got a chance to reset this thing, okay, with a whole new coaching staff, when you're going to – and I don't know if we're going to get our quarterback this year. I don't know about that. Because like I said, Mendoza, we're not going to get him. The Raiders are getting the number 1 pick. I think the Chiefs will beat them next week. I think the Chiefs – they gave Denver a game. I think even with this guy, I never heard of his quarterback, the Chiefs will have enough pride. And I don't think the Raiders want to win. They didn't play Max Crosby. They didn't play Brock Bowers in the game against the Giants. They are clearly tanking for the first pick, and they're going to get it, and they're going to wind up with Mendoza. So the Jets are going to have to pivot. If the Jets move up to 2, then if Dante Moore comes out, you want to take him, okay. I'm not even trading up 1 spot to get him, bro. I wouldn't even do that because you might not have to. The Giants are going to be at 2, and they just may take maybe the best defensive player or whatever on the board, maybe another offensive lineman. I don't know what they would do with 2, but we may have more sitting there at 3 if you want them. And so I'm at the point now, I don't want, unless it's Mendoza, I'm not trading any draft capital for a quarterback. And what I would do is I would take those first 2 picks and either take the 2 best defensive, if Moore is not the guy at 3, I would take the 2 best defensive players or the best defensive player, and then with the second pick in the first round, I would take the best wide receiver I could get because we need one. We need another one. And then with the 2 number 2s, I would take the best defensive player, and I don't know if you'd have to expend the second-round pick for this guy. I would take Diego Pavia from Vanderbilt. I'm telling you, that's the guy you can get him in the later rounds. He's not going to be a first-round pick. I doubt it. I would take him, and watch him. I think they're playing. Who are they playing? Who are they playing in a ball game? I forget who they're playing. I think they're playing New Year's Eve. I forget who it is they're playing. But I would watch him play. I'm telling you, that's where I would go, bro. That's what I would do. Look, and then before you go on, and then remember next year we got 3 number ones, and next year, Moore is certainly coming out. Manning's going to come out. The kid Sellers from South Carolina went back for another year. You're going to have a lot better pickings at that quarterback spot next year with 3 number ones in tow. So you don't necessarily have to get the guy this year, in my mind.
Here's the problem with all that, Joe, right? And look, if they only had to give up a little bit to move up one spot, if they love Dante Moore, if that's their guy,
right.
Okay, that's one thing. Does it really matter if Aaron Glenn's the head coach? Look what we're watching, people. They have no competency on either side of the ball right now. I have no idea about Tanner Engstrand. Our quarterback's coach is a former running back who's only really been a running backs coach till a couple of years ago. Every big decision this coach has made, starting with giving Fields $30 million guaranteed and insulting Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, saying he's never been coached properly when he was 4-2 last year. Again, the Jets are the second team in the Super Bowl era to lose 4 straight games by 23 or more. You gave the point differential in December. NFL record, -107. They were down 35-3 yesterday. They quit on the coach. And then I got to listen to Aaron Glenn at his presser completely walk back on his criticism of the team's effort after watching the film. Everyone on watching can see the tweet from Cimini. For those on podcast, Aaron Glenn today, one day after criticizing the team's effort, Glenn backtracks. After watching the film, he says, quote, he didn't see an effort issue. Our guys did not quit. Cimini writes, hard to put the toothpaste back in the tube on something like this. Joe, he does nothing right. I don't care who they take. If they took Mendoza, he would struggle. He would not succeed here. So we're just wasting a year of whoever they draft, whatever the plan is, because this team is going 5-12 next year. They will have 8 wins through 2 years, and then Woody will fire Glenn. When we all know the answer, this is never going to work. He's not a modern NFL coach. He doesn't call plays on either side of the ball. His defense, he's supposed to be a defensive coach, is historically inept. Enough. We are delaying the inevitable if we just move forward with this guy for another year.
Look, Jake, I couldn't agree with you more. And let's not forget, even above and beyond the Fields decision, letting Aaron Rodgers walk. I mean, let's be honest about it. I think the owner had a piece in that too. You're telling me that and look, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. The Pittsburgh had a bad loss to Cleveland yesterday. There's no doubt about it. By the way, we could have took Shedeur Sanders with a 5th round pick. And that's another issue, but it's too late for that now. But with that said, they're going to Aaron Rodgers. We would have at least had a season this year. When I'm not saying we would have made the playoffs, we would have had a year. You know what I mean? We would have had some kind of a year this year. Glenn has got to go. You are right. You don't want this guy developing a young quarterback. I mean, the Jets need to bring a legitimate head coach in here. Somebody who's been a head coach in the league, somebody who is going to be able to develop a young quarterback. The guy I think of immediately is Mike McCarthy.
Right. That's what we wanted last year.
Right.
It's the same thing.
He should have been. Well, he wanted the job back when they gave it to Gaze.
Yep.
It should have been him then. I would take McCarthy. I would take even a guy like Cliff Kingsbury. I would take a shot at a guy like him. He's been a head coach in the league. He wasn't great with the Cardinals, but we know he's an offensive mind. You saw what he did with Daniels last year. Obviously, Washington's is, when the quarterback went down, that was it for them. That's what you got to go. So in that kind of, you cannot bring this guy back. He is totally lost. They're going to start again next year. You bring him in. I don't care who the quarterback is, and they're going to have to get a veteran guy. Maybe it's Cousins. Maybe it's Mariota. Maybe it's Malik Willis. I don't know. They're going to have to get some stopgap quarterback, because I don't want the quarterback they draft, if they even get one, I don't even know. I don't want that guy to be playing right away. So, they need to bring some kind of a veteran stopgap guy in here. But you want to bring Glenn back? So what if they go 1-6 or 0-7 next year? You're going to fire him in the middle of the year? You're going to do that?
What are we doing?
That's the position you're putting yourself in.
And Joe, just so people are aware, if Aaron Glenn turns out to be a successful coach, he would be at this point a historic outlier. There are so many coaches that get off the brutal starts. I think I've showed you this list before. Campbell, Taylor, Shanahan are the only recent coaches who started 0-6 or worse with their new team that actually made the playoffs. They're all offensive coaches. They all do things on their respective side of the ball. Yeah. Zach Taylor has Joe Burrow. It's almost like, he's got a Hall of Fame quarterback, and Burrow missed most of his rookie year anyway. Shanahan is maybe the best pure offensive coach in the sport. He's amazing. Dan Campbell, everyone says, oh, the Jets are going to be like the Lions. How great are the Lions without Ben Johnson? We sure that's the goal? That
Right.
a great 2-year run and then totally be banned?
And in fairness, even Glenn is the defensive coordinator. I mean, their defense is not any good.
No.
I mean, the Lions let's be honest about the Lions. Bro, they had their window and it shut. All right? The last 2 years, they should have went to the Super Bowl 3 years ago when they blew that game to San Francisco when Campbell decided to go for it instead of kicking the field goal in the championship game. Last year, they had the home field. They were the number 1 seed, and they got knocked off at home in the first game by Washington. The bloom is now off the rose. They're an 8-8 team. They're not making the playoffs. I think the Dan Campbell deal over there is really now done. Okay, as far as them ever being a real legitimate Super Bowl contender again with this team, they got a lot of things to do. I don't know what else to say if you're talking about the Lions. This guy cannot be the head coach next year. It's just going to destroy another year. And what's going to happen is he's going to get off to a bad start, and they're going to fire him in the middle of the year. And what good does that do, bro? Tell me what good that does.
We are just wasting another year, wasting a year of development for whoever that quarterback is. There's no point. A real owner would recognize a mistake and rectify it. And I don't want to hear the excuse, because I just did a morning radio show with Jordan Renan, who's telling me, well, Woody's cheap. He's not known to spend. I doubt he wants to pay another coach. And my pushback to that would be, well, if the Jets stink again next year, and they will with Aaron Glenn in all likelihood, so he's okay firing Glenn and paying 3 years of the contract, but 4 is too many. We draw the line at 4 now.
Right.
Woody just spent $250 million on a soccer team. He can afford it. It doesn't count against the cap. And if Woody actually wants to win, recognize what's happening here. The Jets got booed, Joe. They got booed in player introductions. There were no Jet fans in the building yesterday. They're down 35-3 at halftime. Drake May, his day was done with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. I mean, they're getting punked by a division opponent. They're 0-5, soon to be 0-6 against the AFC East. As bad as Gase was, he won 7 games with the worst team his first year. They were 7-9. This is an abomination what we're watching.
Look, Aaron Glenn makes Robert Saleh looks like he was a combination of Chuck Noll and Tom Landry. I mean, it's not even debatable, bro. It's not. Saleh was a much better coach than Glenn. I don't know what to say anymore, man. This owner really, it all comes down to Woody Johnson.
Yep.
Really, let's be honest. It comes down to him. Woody should have demanded that Aaron Rodgers be the quarterback this year. And he should dump Glenn now. I don't want to hear about the money. You're not winning with this guy. This guy is not an NFL head coach. They dump him now. He'll never get another job as a head coach again. He'll be the coordinator. He'll never get a job as a head coach again. It's unfortunate. He was a terrific player for our team. That's the only thing that I said, okay, even though I wanted a veteran guy to begin with, I signed off, okay, because he was a Jet. He wanted to be the coach of the team. But it's unfortunate that his legacy now, we're going to forget how good a player he was and just remember him for being an absolutely abysmal head coach.
And you know what bothers me?
And again, presiding over, this is the worst team. I'm going to say it again. This is the worst team in the history of this franchise, and that is saying a lot.
You know what's so embarrassing too, Joe? People are trying to come to Glenn's defense being like, they're playing Brady Cook. They're clearly tanking. And they conveniently leave out the fact the reason why the Jets are in this spot in the first place is because they started 0-7. And Glenn looked every bit as bad as any coach we have ever seen. Coach Titan Gase never started 0-4. He started 0-7. He admitted yesterday the effort wasn't there. And then a day later realizing, oh, wow, that could actually get me fired, because I think he's now starting to really be concerned about his job. He backtracked it. If Woody Johnson cannot see what's going on, we have no hope, because we're just going to waste all of next year. You can't name one thing he does well as a coach. At least with Saleh, we could say he was an expert on the defensive side of the ball. Glenn doesn't do anything. He shows up. They get out-schemed, outmanned. Look at the scoring differential in the first half of games this year. The penalties remain a problem. He said a couple of weeks ago, it's not about the X's and O's. Coach, it's all about the X's and O's. Look at Liam Cohen. Look at Ben Johnson. Look at Kyle Shanahan. All the top coaches, they are involved in their respective sides of the ball. He doesn't do anything. He's a rah-rah coach. That doesn't work in 2025. That's not where the league is going.
No, and let's not forget he gave $30 million guaranteed to Justin Fields. Okay, which as bad a decision was letting Rodgers go, they compounded it by giving $30 million guaranteed to this guy who is not. Let's be real, Justin Fields is not an NFL quarterback. That's the bottom line. I mean, and like you said, the 0-7 start destroyed the season. And if they had even a decent quarterback, bro, even a fair quarterback, this team would have at least, won. Maybe they would have been 3-4 to start the year, something like that. But at least would have gave us somewhat of a season. I can't. This guy's got to go, bro. He's horrible. There's no other way to say it. They're making Woody. You're making a massive mistake by bringing this guy back. Massive.
They were down 42-3 in the third quarter yesterday. It's mind-boggling. If you have a question for Joe, write it in comments. Let's give away a Jets jersey on the show. Jets Legends jersey. We won't.
That's the only ones you can get anymore.
That's it.
Name it. There you go. Flecko, baby. Martin. Hello.
Crabette, Revis, and the late great Nick Mangold. Make sure you enter for your chance to win. This week on the show, Joe, our weekly prizes include a signed Klecko jersey, signed Revis jersey, and a signed Don Maynard football. Nice. So a Jet Hall of Fame raffle. Big shout out to Tom, who gifted a membership. Also want to acknowledge Anthony Logerato, who's always supporting the channel, and he sent in 5 channel memberships. Also, Pete, thank you. NY Jets Man Cave in the raffle for 2. Marcus with a super chat to start us off, Joe. He says, once the Bills beat us to death and the season ends, I could see Woody firing Glenn. He's not seen this level of failure as an owner. Honestly, Joe, maybe this makes me a bad fan. I don't know. But if you told me the Jets could just get absolutely destroyed by the Bills Sunday and that will lead to a coaching change, how am I not supposed to root for that if I have absolutely no confidence in this head coach moving forward?
And I don't even know if Allen will play Sunday because, he's a little banged up. They really have nothing to play for. They're kind of locked in. The division is over now. I wonder, what McDermott's going to do. I would think he's going to rest guys, because they're going to be playing the following week. So I wonder if Josh Allen even plays this week. And could you imagine if I don't know who's Trubisky, the backup quarterback there? I think that's who it is.
Yep.
Could you imagine if Allen doesn't play and they still bury the Jets? How the hell do you bring this guy? You got to get rid of this guy. He's got to go, bro. They
quit on him. That's the thing.
Yep.
He said yesterday, this is the first time I'd question the effort. Let's be real. There were other games where you could certainly question the effort of these guys, but he walked it back today. He had
that's
again,
unbelievable.
He knows he's in trouble. This is the first time I actually think there is a chance there could be a change because I think he's starting to feel it now. Because when it's that bad in that stadium and what he looks around and sees, it's all Patriots fans. How could anyone actually have confidence? A guy who's a defensive guy who wasn't even that great of a defensive coordinator with the Lions anyway, is now going to oversee the development of one of these quarterbacks. Why? We're just wasting a year. We're going to be the Titans firing our head coach, Brian Callahan, in the middle of the year. We're going to be the Bears firing Eberflus after they took Caleb. We're just delaying it. Get a real proven coach or a real offensive coach that could develop the rookie quarterback. Because, again, we're not winning with him. It's not going to change. People think that because they have draft picks and salary cap space to spend money on players, that they're just going to be a better team automatically because of that. You still need coaching. If they don't have coaching, they're not winning more than 6 games next year.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more, bro. He's got to go. He's got to go after the Bill game. Obviously, let him coach the Buffalo game, and then he's out. Black Monday, see you. Go get me. You have to get a real head coach in here, bro. You have to get a veteran guy. I told you McCarthy, to me, is the guy. He coached Favre. He coached Rodgers. He coached Dak Prescott. He's won a lot of games in this league. He won a Super Bowl. You can get on him for not, only winning 1. I've heard that crap. You could get on him because he didn't ever win, even though he was winning 12 games every year in Dallas, he didn't win in the playoffs. We need a veteran head coach. Go grab McCarthy before the Giants do, okay? Go grab him. And I'll tell you right now, I don't know how he would feel. To me, the Giants situation is better. You already have a quarterback in Dart, and they got some players there, and they got the second pick in the draft. So I think the Giants are a much better team than the Jets are right now. It's not even close.
No, 100%.
So I don't know. maybe McCarthy, a guy like that, would rather coach the Giants. Probably. I mean, I think I would if I was a head coach. They just got more than the Jets do. But we need a veteran head coach, an offensive guy that is going to be, as much as I love Rex and would love to bring him back, we need, by the way, Rex Ryan is that you would never see the kind of defense that we've seen the last 4 weeks with Rex Ryan as the head coach. Never. But with that said, we need an offensive guy with experience. I'm telling you, bro, Cliff Kingsbury, don't love him, but offensive.
I agree with you, Joe. I agree.
Offensive-minded guy, young guy. Bring a guy like that. I'll take a shot at a guy like him, bro.
Again,
now, if John Harbaugh was let go, obviously, if the Ravens lose this week, maybe Harbaugh's gone. I still find it hard to believe they get rid of him. But, and we need it. Remember, we got to get a veteran quarterback in here to be a stopgap, right? And if we don't take that quarterback this year, I told you I'd love to get Pavia. I think they should take him, later round. And remember, you got 3 first-rounders next year with all these quarterbacks coming out, but we need a legitimate head coach.
I'll give you another name.
Not the answer.
If the Browns fire Kevin Stefanski, 2-time coach of the year, offensive guy, give him a chance, man. Again,
I would.
Experience, offensive guy. I'm all about it. And look, Cliff Kingsbury did go to the playoffs one of those years in Arizona with Kyler. I'm all about giving an offensive guy a second chance because, honestly, let's be real. Anyone's better than what we're looking at right now. If the bare minimum, the guy could develop the quarterback we're about to take, at least we have that. If he's not the long-term answer, fine, but we're not winning without a quarterback anyway. At least Cliff or whoever could work with that young quarterback. And by the way, the people knocking McCarthy, he'd be what Tom Thibodeau was to the Knicks. We need someone to stabilize this Titanic ship that's sinking and going lower and lower. Like, you can't think about Super Bowls and all that. They're in hell. They're in the Earth's core. They're in a 15-year playoff drought. They haven't won more than 7 games in a decade. They have to get someone who could stabilize the ship. So all those names you mentioned, I'm on board with. Again, I'll take anyone because we're sitting here trying to just grasp for hope that Glenn improves. There's not one tangible thing we could say, well, at least he does this well as a head coach. There's nothing you can hang your hat on. Nothing.
No, Glenn's got it. Glenn should go. I don't think there's any question about it. And Woody's making a big mistake by keeping him. We'll see. Let's see what happens. Maybe he will fire him. I don't know. This thing with this backtracking about what he said yesterday and then saying he looked at the tape. What are you talking about? I mean, this defense was missing tackles all over the freaking place, bro. Come on. It's more than just this quarterback who's not an NFL quarterback. A lot more than that. This defense was beyond abysmal. I mean, these receivers are open all over the place. They didn't get near Drake May in the game. I mean, missed tackles. Just what else can you say? What else can you say, bro?
It's disgusting. Just mind-boggling. Gangrene writes in with a super chat here. He's in our raffle for 2 for the Jets Legends jersey at the end. Our schedule next year is brutal, and we have to trust this abysmal coach and his question mark of a staff with a rookie QB question mark. Hiring Glenn may have set this franchise back even further. Sticking with Glenn will set them back further because now you're going to allow him to use $100 million in cap space, 2 picks in the top 18, one of them likely on a quarterback. It's silly, man. We are delaying what we all know is coming. When they start 1-6 next year, they end up winning 5 games. It'll be 8 wins through 2 years. Then Woody will make a change. I mean, come on, look at the schedule next year, Joe. Here are the opponents the Jets will play. How many of these games will they actually have an advantage at either quarterback or head coach or a combination of the two? I mean, what are we looking at here? Like they're not going to win with this coach and a rookie quarterback. It's not happening.
Yeah. No, bro, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. I'm with you 100%. It's a disaster. There's no other way to say it. It's a disaster. This guy's got to go. He's horrible. He's horrible.
Fire Aaron Glenn says, fire Aaron Glenn. Bino writes in, walking back narratives 24 hours later. This guy's an absolute clown who has no clue what he's even looking at, let alone coaching. And his presser yesterday, it looked like Gase in 2020. Like he had like he had no answers. Like this brash, I'm coming in, we're the New York Jets. We're built for this bleep. And he's talking trash to reporters and he's taking shots at Salah's staff with so many of his comments all summer long. Like that was the first time yesterday. I'm like, wow, like he knows they quit on him. He doesn't have answers here. You could try and say they're laying the foundation. There's no foundation being laid when you're going to have 50% roster turnover, a brand new defensive staff, a brand new quarterback room, and major changes to the offensive staff. There's zero foundation being laid when you're 3-14. Nothing.
Yeah. There's nothing. There's no way around. Like I said, this is the worst team I've ever had, bro. Even Kotite's 1-15 team was more competitive than this. I mean, even Gaze's team that went 2-14, at least they played, as the season went on, they got better. They beat two playoff teams at the end of the year, the Rams and the Browns. I mean, come on. This is a disgrace. This is non-competitive football. This is a team that would get beat by the majority of the teams that are going to be playing on New Year's Day and New Year's Eve. Let's be honest about it. I don't think that's crazy to say. You got to be kidding me.
They're that bad that it's a conversation. It's unreal.
Right? It is.
Matt L. Thank you, Matt. You're in the raffle for 5. Dan, the Jet fan, checks in. I wouldn't be opposed to a new head coach anyways. Do either of you think the Colts pick is untouchable on a trade-up, especially if it falls between 13 and 15? I wouldn't trade the Colts pick to go from 3 to 2. No. That'd be egregious.
Yeah. No, I look, the only guy, as far this year's quarterback class, the only guy that I am giving draft capital up for is Mendoza. And that's not going to happen. I would not trade anything. Maybe if Moore comes out, he falls in your lap at 3. If he doesn't, okay, and he doesn't come out, the Giants are not taking him at 2. I don't know. Maybe is somebody going to trade up to get ahead of the Jets to get the second pick? I don't know. Maybe the Cardinals. Would they? I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't give up draft capital for Moore, and I would stay where we are and keep all my picks. And I'm going to say it again, bro. The kid from Vanderbilt. Somebody is going to.
He's probably in the 3rd or 4th round. Like, he's not even 6 foot tall, Joe. Like, I don't know.
I understand that, but you know what, bro? But he's a football player. We sometimes we lose sight of that. Well, he's not 6'5" and 230. Okay, this guy is a football player, and you can get. I'm not saying with a 1st round pick. I wouldn't give up a 1st round pick for him
on day 3. If you want to take a chance on him after they already took someone else, I could live with that. I don't think he would work in New York like that.
But you know what, bro? He does. See, but here's the thing: it doesn't have to happen this year. You got 3 number 1 picks next year and a 2nd rounder, where you're going to have a better quarterback class coming out.
They say that every year, though. That's my concern. They say that every year it's going to be better.
Well,
they said that this year.
Something. Let's say Moore doesn't come out. Okay, what do you do when Mendoza goes to the Raiders? What are you doing with 3?
I think
you're going to take Ty Simpson. Are you going to take him? I wouldn't.
Simpson might be a lot closer to Moore than people realize.
Okay, but so you would take him. Look, we're going to see him against Indiana.
I would consider it. Yes, I think there's still some evaluation there. I want to know more on Ty Simpson, like more about his background, the personality.
Here's what I would do if you like Simpson. I wouldn't take him with the 3rd pick. I would take the best defensive player on a board with the 3rd pick.
And then use the Colts pick to take him potentially?
Yes. Yep.
See, the challenge with that is there's other teams that also could use him, right? Miami in this scenario could use him. You have Arizona needs a quarterback.
Quinn Ewers looked pretty good yesterday for the Dolphins. Maybe McDaniel, if he's still there, and I guess he's going to be, maybe he looks at it as, maybe this is more the guy, McDonald, whatever his name. What's his McDaniel, whatever his name is. The
Mike McDaniel. Yep.
The weird looking coach in Miami.
there's just a lot of unknown.
Maybe they think Quinn Ewers is the guy. I mean, he had a solid game yesterday. He did.
They're going to have to add a veteran if they cut Tua, too. There's so much that's going to change, too. Also, I know we just assume Mendoza's going 1. I don't know if we know that. A year ago at this time, Shedeur Sanders was going number 1, and then Cam Ward emerged, and then Jackson Dart wasn't thought to be a 1st-round pick. He was a 2nd or 3rd-round pick. So I'm always weary of just saying, yep, Mendoza's going 1, like no matter what. Like things change, man. The combine will change things. The pre-draft workouts changes things. How this college football playoff changes. What if Dante Moore goes off for Oregon? He plays great against Texas Tech, and they go on a real run. Like the conversation could change. I still could see the Jets ending up with Fernando Mendoza. I don't think it's improbable for that scenario to play itself out.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I just don't know if I'm giving up any draft capital for anybody not named Mendoza. I would stay where we are. And who knows? Maybe we wind up at 2. Maybe the Giants win again. Dallas is not playing for anything this week. I mean, the Giants obviously want to win. I mean, it's Jackson Dart certainly wants to win. The Giants are not tanking. So, they don't need a quarterback. So does it really matter if they pick 2, 3, 4? I don't think it really matters for them.
To their fans, it does, but to the players and coaches, they don't care about any of that. They're trying to win, 100%.
Right. That's right.
Craig writes in. Now, Craig's based in Australia, so he goes, Joe, if it's any consolation, I shared your pain at 4:30 a.m. from 10,000 miles away. Craig is a diehard who gets up at ungodly hours to watch this disgrace of a football team.
First of all, Craig, I feel bad for you that you live in Australia. Okay, we'll start with that. The disaster that country is, and that the absolute clown who's the prime minister or the president there. But we'll leave that.
God.
All right, so I feel bad that you live in freaking Australia. With that said, God bless you that you get up and you watch the disgrace that this football team is. God bless you, bro.
Craig, I love Australia. I look forward to visiting you when the Jets play out there in a couple of years. I can't wait.
Yeah, right. I'm on my way to Australia. Yeah, okay.
Dan says Trubisky torched us on that one throw back in week 2. He did against Sauce. Remember Trubisky came in briefly after Allen got popped and was bloodied up? Yeah. That's when I started to, by the way, have like real concerns about Glenn, because I'm thinking to myself, everyone wanted to praise him for the moral victory week 1. They looked good against Pittsburgh. And then it's like they treated that week 1 game like they won. And then against a division opponent at home, Buffalo came in and just destroyed them. And I'm thinking, how does that happen in week 2? How are you that unprepared in week 2? And it was a sign of things to come.
Right. Yeah, it was all a mirage. Week 1 was a mirage, bro. First of all, Pittsburgh's not that good. Even though they might win the division, this is not a vintage Pittsburgh Steelers team. And then it just all collapsed after that. But giving $30 million to Justin Fields was akin to David the Genius Stearns giving $34 million to Frankie Montas.
I haven't even asked you about Boy Genius yet.
No, don't ask me about. But I'll just say this about the Mets: they're not going to do anything. Don't expect any big name signings. It's not happening. Anyway, go ahead.
Ace tag. Thank God Raiders got the #1 pick. Now we don't have to stupidly trade draft capital. We need coaching. Could we stop overrating this bad roster? Again, a couple things could be true here. The roster is bereft of talent in some key areas, but it shouldn't look like this. And that's a problem. The O-line has been healthy all year. They have a competent O-line. They have Brees. They have a couple of receivers we like. Mason Taylor looks competent. And for all the people talking about the defense and all the bad players on the defense, Joe, let's be real. They entered this year with 8 of their 11 starters back year over year. They had a former first-team All-Pro at all 3 levels of their defense. Then they made the trades, but okay, they won a couple games after those trades. So what happened to the logic of giving Glenn praise because they're playing hard for him? And look, Will McDonald was put on IR, but up until yesterday, Sherwood, Quincy, Jermaine, Phillips, Stevens, Briggs, these guys were all still playing. It's not just the third stringers that were a problem. All these guys that we have seen be good players in the past have regressed, have not been good. So when people just say, oh, what do you expect? There's no talent. The defense still has all those names I mentioned, and people just excuse it and just say, oh, what do you expect from Glenn? There's no talent. That's nonsense. There is some players there that we've seen be good football players before.
Yeah. By the way, taking Will McDonald instead of Jackson Smith-Njigba was one of the most ridiculous picks they ever did. And I screamed about that then, but what do I know? I don't know anything. Just want to say that. Will McDonald, he stinks. You get
8 sacks, 4 in 1 game. That's it.
I've had enough of Will McDonald. I've had enough of Jermaine Johnson. I've had enough of Quincy Williams. I've had enough of Jermaine Sherwood. Get rid of every one of these guys. I've had enough of Stevens. I told you, the only guy on defense I would bring back is the Malachi Moore. Maybe A.Z. Thomas, because we'll see about him.
No, it's just there's Jawan Briggs I like. I think he's been decent.
Okay.
There's not much. Like if this is all we can talk about.
Phillips has been all right.
Yeah, it's just disgusting. Hulk Hogan writes in, found out my wife's pregnant with our first. Do I allow my newborn to be a Mets Jet fan? Is that cruel? Joe, you're qualified to discuss this.
In the words of Elvis Presley, don't be cruel. Okay. You know what I'm saying, bro? You don't want to make your kids a Met Jet fan. Why would you want to do that to a young, why would you want to put that on the kid? I wouldn't do that. Don't even make him a sports fan. I mean, do him a favor.
It's being a Jet fan builds character, though. That's how you got to look at it.
I told you that guy. What was his name again? I forget his first name. He used to work for the Mets. Howard. I forget his first name. He came in one time. This is when I was still working at the Fan, and he came into the radio station. And he says, "Yeah," and we were all over him. He said, "Well, you talk. Come on, being a Met fan builds character." Yeah, okay, a lot of character.
Shows you're loyal. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, sure. Or stupid.
Gang Green says, I was brave or bust during the hiring cycle. I knew he wasn't coming here, but he was the only candidate out there that would have given me hope. Again, they also interviewed Brian Flores, who is from Brooklyn, had 2 winning seasons in Miami, got railroaded because he didn't want to tank for the owner there. I mean, he was, to me, of the guys they spoke to, he was the guy I wanted, but they didn't even interview Mike McCarthy last go around. Like, the process was so flawed. They interviewed Mike Loxley, the head coach of Maryland, but Mike McCarthy doesn't get an interview because it was a sham process because they needed to hire a coach who didn't want Aaron Rodgers. That should have been left up to whoever the head coach was, who had an idea for what the best direction for the football team was supposed to be.
No question about it. And Aaron Rodgers wanted to be here, you know,
and take a pay cut.
Right. He wanted to be here. You say whatever you want, you know, and look what he's doing in Pittsburgh. Look, is he the same guy he used to be? No, but you know what? He could still chuck the freaking football. Let's be honest about it. No doubt. And more than likely, they're going to win Sunday and get in the playoffs. You know, what can I tell you?
Fern says a taunting penalty down 28 shows how bad the players think of Glenn.
Who is that guy, Clark? Who the hell
Ryan
is that?
Clark's son, Jordan Clark.
Oh.
They're down 28-3 when that play happened. To have the audacity to commit a taunting penalty against Stephon Diggs when you're getting your asses destroyed, if that is not the ultimate indictment of this head coach and this team quitting on the coach, I don't know.
Well, you also had a roughing the passer penalty on Jermaine Johnson on that play. So.
You hear him after the game too, by the way. They asked him, you know, Glenn said, you guys didn't play with effort. And Jermaine, like, you could tell he was like biting his tongue to say what he wanted to say. But like, I think he's lost the team. I don't know how anyone could watch these last 4 games, soon to be 5, and think that they're still playing for him.
Yep. I don't either, bro. He's got to go. There's no other. I couldn't agree more. Woody is making a massive mistake if he brings this guy back next year.
I'm skipping ahead because there's a huge super chat here from our guy, Matt L., who says, Woody, this is what your coach gave us this season. Defensive collapse, poor game management, offensive ineptitude, lack of competitive spirit, regress performance, inconsistent leadership, and poor coaching decisions. Joe, what did I miss?
You missed nothing. You missed nothing. I'm telling you, this is I've seen. Look, I've been rooting for this team since 1965. This is the worst team I've ever seen. Ever seen. I mean, you got bad teams out there. You got a team like the Browns. They're not any good, right? How did we beat them? You know, they're playing football. They got a big division rival with Pittsburgh. They're hell bent. You're not winning a division in my house, you know, and they're out there. And what do? They go stick it to Pittsburgh. I mean, come on. You got the Dolphins who, you know, even when their year was over, they kept playing. They run 4 games in a row. They beat Tampa Bay yesterday in a game that Tampa Bay really needed to win. I mean, we could go on and on, bro. You know, we are not competitive. The Giants, you look at the Raiders, maybe the Raiders, because their Raiders are out and out tanking. They don't want to win. Out and out tanking. There's no doubt about it. But the Giants are a far better team than the Jets are. I mean, even the games they lost, you know, how many games that they blew this year? That Bronco game, you know, but they were competitive in these games. They were competitive against the Packers. You know, they were competitive against the Vikings last week. You know what I'm saying? We're not even competitive, bro. Not even competitive.
It's unreal. Hit the like button if you're watching live. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. We're over 43,000 subs. So thank you to everyone who tunes in to hear us talk about a disastrous football team. Joe's podcast, Oh, the Pain, out later today. His full thoughts. He taped it before our recording this morning. A couple super chats here from people going after you on Diego Pavia, Joe. Why is Pavia someone that you really like as someone the Jets could use a day 3 pick on?
I think he's worth a shot. I mean, you know, you can laugh at me all you want. I mean, this guy, he put Vanderbilt on a map. Vanderbilt could have easily been in the college playoff. I mean, you say what you want. He went 10-2 in the SEC. He wins. He's a winner. He reminds me a lot of Baker Mayfield. He has that kind of presence about him. He does whatever. He's got a big chip on his shoulder. This guy's going to come into the league if somebody takes a flyer on him with a major chip on his shoulder, because everybody thinks like this guy does. He's small, this, that. Well, okay, well, let's see. And I'm not saying you take him with the 3rd pick in the draft. I didn't say that. I said you take a shot at him, okay? And maybe he's going to be this year's Shedeur Sanders. You know, should we have taken Shedeur Sanders with a 4th pick last year? You think? How's he doing in Cleveland? He went 2-4 as a starter. Maybe he's going to be the guy there. Maybe he just is. when everybody pissed on him that he wasn't any good, right? Okay? And Cleveland lucked out with him with a 5th-round pick or whatever. I'm not saying you take Pavia with the 3rd pick in the draft. I'm saying somewhere in the draft, if he's still there, why not?
I don't have a problem with that.
Not.
I think people thought that you were saying take him in the 2nd round. I wouldn't do that. It's too early. But at day 3, one of my 4th or 5th round pick, I would have no problem with that.
Yeah, take him. If he's still sitting there and you got a 4th round, even a 3rd round, if he's still sitting there in the 3rd round, I'll take him. Why not? He's worth a shot, bro.
Hey, bad news. It takes the Joe Douglas trading for Hassan Reddick. The Jets don't have a 3rd round pick this year.
Oh, yeah, we don't have a 3? Okay,
No.
so you grab him in the 4. Oh,
Yep.
was that the Hassan Reddick trade?
Oh, yeah.
That worked out well, huh?
Tremendous. Wesak says, get a serious coach, serious QB, turn this around. Only Jet fans get excited at the idea of Pavia, Brissett. Give me a break. Pavia and Brissett are different conversations.
Brissett is obviously a stopgap. I would be all for Jacoby Brissett to start the season as a quarterback.
Brissett and draft someone. Exactly.
Right, of course.
That's what the Patriots did with Drake May. It's the same thing. Yeah.
I'm not saying you start Jacoby Brissett as he's your guy going forward. You bring a guy like that in, and I don't know if he's, I don't know what his contract is with the Cardinals. Brissett's a perfect guy to be the stopgap guy until the young quarterback is ready. Yes or no? Right?
Yep.
I'd rather have him than Kirk Cousins. I'd rather have him than Mariota, right? Somebody like that.
Problem is, you'd have to acquire him in a trade because I don't think he's going to be released.
I don't think so either. But they're going to have to bring some veteran quarterback in here. They're going to have to.
It could be a Marcus Mariota type or Kirk Cousins released. I mean, that's what you're looking at. Jack says, Joe, can we be friends?
What? What does that mean?
He just wants to be your friend, I think.
Yeah. Is that I thought maybe it was the war song. Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Right?
Joe, that's money well spent for Jack. I'm sure you just made his day with that $2 response there. Love it. Q Rob says, what about Mateer in the second round?
Mateer's not any good. I don't like Mateer at all. But for Oklahoma, I don't like him at all.
So he's out on Mateer.
I absolutely do not.
Garrett Nussmeyer, another question from him as an option. I don't like him. Kate Klubnik stinks too.
I don't even know if he's coming out, is he? He wasn't even playing at the end of the year. He got hurt. Did he play in the bowl game the other day they lost?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't love Nussmeyer.
Drew Allard from Penn State, maybe a guy you take a day 3 swing on.
Maybe. I mean, what is the deal with him? He got hurt. How healthy is he?
He'll be healthy for next year.
Maybe. But not with the 3rd pick in the draft. Not with the 3rd pick in the draft. I think the only guy I would take with the 3rd pick in the draft is either Mendoza or I guess I take Moore. I'm not taking Ty Simpson with the 3rd pick in the draft. No, I wouldn't do that.
Nice podcast. Stupid says, hey, Joe, bring back Rex. What do you think?
Oh, I'd take Rex back in a nanosecond. I would take him. And Rex would walk here to get the job. You talk about a guy that would be coming back with a chip on his shoulder. And I'll tell you one thing, you would never see what we've seen over these last 4 weeks. I don't care. He could bring 11 guys off the street to play defense, and they wouldn't play the kind of defense that we've seen over these last 4 weeks, where it would be better than that.
I love Rex. I just think we need an offensive guy. We need someone.
Well, you'd have to bring a big time offensive guy in to tutor the quarterback. That there's no doubt about it.
Ted writes in, if you're going to be ballsy, hire Josh McCown. Again, if we're going to take the first-time head coach route, I need it to be an offensive guy. That's the only reason I'd consider.
You can't take another first-time head coach, bro. We can't do that. We just can't do it.
I agree, but I'd give the job to McCown right now if it meant Aaron Glenn wasn't the head coach anymore. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, okay. All right, you want to if that's the case, look, I like McCown. He was okay with the Jets as a stopgap guy. I mean,
he's a great teacher of the quarterback position, which is why I like him a lot.
That he would do. I'll give you that.
Man with a rake. Rodgers had better numbers with the Jets than the Steelers. Well, it's different because the Jets were trailing in a lot more of these games. Pittsburgh is trying to run the ball.
Right.
Also, and Pittsburgh got completely screwed with Metcalf getting a 2-game
suspension. Oh, he got hosed. Oh, that was one. They gave that guy a 2-game suspension. Let me say this about
He's not playing Sunday now. They won't have him.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I know. Look, I don't know if this guy, I'll say this about Metcalf. If this dizzy freaking Lion fan with the dumb wig on, if he used the N-word on Metcalf, I think Metcalf showed a tremendous restraint.
Agreed.
What did he do? He didn't jump into the stands and go after the guy. He grabbed the guy's wig. He held on to the wig a little bit, and then he let it go. He kind of pushed it away. He didn't hit him. He didn't go in the stands and be crazy. If this guy used that word, that the NFL, this is what makes me laugh with the NFL. And I think I've said this to you before, okay? The hypocrisy is off the charts with Roger Goodell. They're all wearing that inspired change jersey and all sweatshirt. All the coaches are wearing it all. Okay? Well, here's a guy that if this kid, whoever he was, this fan, used the N-word on Metcalf, isn't that out-and-out racism? It's out-and-out racism. And you're supposed to be, this bastion of social justice in the NFL, okay? So what do? So it's out-and-out racism by the fan, and you screwed a player who actually used restraint as far as I'm concerned. And did anything happen to the player? Did anything happen to the fan? Did anything happen to him?
I think the fan's trying to sue. No, I think he's trying to sue. I saw he hired like a legal team, and he might press charges against Metcalf in the NFL.
For what? Sue him for what?
Yeah, I don't know, whatever crime it is, I guess, to unsolicited or not unsolicited, whatever it is to hit someone.
Did he use a racial slur?
The fan denies it. The fan has denied saying.
Well, of course he's denied. Of course he's going to deny it. But we're not going to really know if he, who's going to, Metcalf's going to say one thing, the fan's going to say another thing. The NFL screwed the Steelers and they screwed Metcalf on this, as far as I'm concerned. And like I said, Roger Goodell, the hypocrisy is off the charts. It really is.
We said Jets have played stopgap QB for 15 years. I mean, again, they got to take the swing on the quarterback, but you can't. I agree with you, Joe. If you don't love one of these guys, you don't just trade picks to get them. It either fall to you or you got to have conviction. And the problem is, if Glenn's sticking around, I don't trust his conviction on a quarterback. He's shown me nothing. He's also telling us Brady Cook's gonna be able to play in this league. He's unplayable. Brady Cook is Tim Boyle bad.
Yeah, I don't know if he's bad as Tim Boyle, but he's bad.
He's in the conversation.
You can't just take a quarterback to take him. You can't do what they did with Zach Wilson. You can't take a quarterback just for the sake of taking the quarterback.
Well, I think they actually like Zach. That's because think about it. Shanahan wanted them too. Like, it's just they got that one so wrong. It all goes back to that, really, right? If they had just stuck with Sam and traded the pick, who knows where we'd be with LaFleur coaching Darnold and then having assets. It's just they never make the right decision, which is why, while it's obvious Glenn is not the right guy and they should act proactively rather than reactively a year from now, I have no faith in Woody doing the right thing.
Right. I'm with you.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Let me see if I missed anything here before I let you run, Joe. I think we are all caught up. So I will leave you with this, Joe. What is your New Year's resolution for 2026?
What is my New Year's resolution for 2026? That's a tough. I don't know if I have any resolution. What is my resolution? I don't really have any. I don't have any. Just
stay alive.
Keep on keeping on. That's about it. Another year that I'm on the right side of the ground. We'll leave it at that. You know what I mean?
That works. Joe, you're the man. These shows are just always just crazy to talk about because it's just, when does it end, man? When does it end for this?
Hey, team? You never know, bro. Maybe next Monday, which will be Black Monday. Maybe next Monday. How many times have we been on the air when the Jets, when they were fired Salah, when they got rid of Wilkes? Maybe we'll be on the air next week doing the show, our last show of the regular season, and they fire Glenn, and we'll be throwing a party.
Monday, 10 a.m. Will it happen with Joe live on the show? Unreal. Everyone check out the Oh the Pain pod. It's available in audio form. It's also on YouTube. Joe, you're the best. Happy New Year, and hopefully a better year for the Jets and the teams we root for.
Yeah. God bless. God bless America. All the love, bro. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Did they ever force a damn turnover?
We know the answer. No. Still no interceptions for the New York Jets. Great spot with Joe B. Hit the like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We're presented by ZipRecruiter. Listen up, as maniacs, as we head into 2026. I got some big goals, growing the show, expanding the community, bigger guests, big sponsors, bigger coverage. And the truth is you can't do any of that alone. Whether you're building a media brand like me or running your own business, it's hard to find people who are actually great at what they do. It's like the Jets trying to fix the quarterback problem every damn offseason. Everyone says they have the answer, but finding the right fit is the hard part. That's where ZipRecruiter comes in. If you're hiring right now, you've got real challenges. You're trying to fill specialized roles. You're sorting through a mountain of applications. You don't have time to waste on people who aren't qualified. ZipRecruiter makes it easy. Their matching technology works fast to find top talent. So you're not wasting time or money. You can instantly see how many job seekers in your area are qualified for the role, and ZipRecruiter's advanced resume database. You can unlock top candidates' contact info right away. No wonder ZipRecruiter is the #1 rated hiring site based on G2. Let ZipRecruiter help you find the best people for all your roles. 4 to 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to this exclusive web address right now. Try ZipRecruiter for free. It's ZipRecruiter.com/audio. Again, ZipRecruiter.com/audio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Hit the like button, comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. A reminder, we raffle away a Jets jersey at the end of the show. Mangold, Revis, Corbett, Martin, Klecko, or Namath. And make sure you gift a membership or send in a $10 super chat or higher to be entered in the weekly raffle. We're targeting this Friday for that one. Don Maynard signed ball, Revis signed jersey, Joe Klecko signed jersey. Now, I want to hear from the head coach of the Jets. He apparently walked back his comments yesterday where he said that the team's effort was not good enough. So I want to hear from the head coach now how exactly he walked this one back. Here's Aaron Glenn at the podium a little while ago.
For me, anything I reported from yesterday, when it comes to the game, very disappointed in the outcome of that game, as we all should be. And getting a chance to look at it last night and look at it again this morning, I would say this: effort was not the issue with that game. I thought our guys, I thought they played all the way to the very end. What really showed up is, like, they did some things schematically I thought that was challenging, offensively and defensively, that we really have to take a look at and try to hone in on, try to fix those things. And I would say some of their players just made plays. And I said this yesterday, man, this is a playmakers league. Between the quarterback, the receivers, some of their defensive backs and their D linemen, those guys made the plays that should have been made, and we didn't. So, again, it was not total effort. Scheme, we have to look at some things they did that was pretty challenging, and that happens every week. And then just, man, those playmakers they really made some plays. And this quarterback's a good quarterback, and again, that's nothing that's new for you guys to know, because we talked about that. But it definitely wasn't just total effort. And saying that, any questions?
Anyone have a
Someone
question?
asking?
What are we doing here?
Because you're muted.
Collins, we can't hear you. You unmuted, but for some reason your mic's not working. We still don't hear you.
What is going on here?
Still muted.
Oh, my goodness. What are we doing? Ask a question. I'll ask a question. Aaron Glenn, what do you do well as a head coach? What do you do well as a head coach? That's the question. What have you improved with the Jets? What do you do well as a head coach? Why should Jet fans have any confidence in you? Why should you get the chance to pick and develop a rookie quarterback when all your major decisions have been brutal? Please answer the question. I'll ask questions. Let me in the room.
Can you hear me, AG?
Yeah, I got you.
Rich.
Yeah, I got you, Rich.
Yeah, I've been having a little technical difficulties myself here, so I apologize. But as long as you can hear me.
Yeah, all good. I could hear you. I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Just to follow up on what you just said about not being effort related, that
Yeah.
you indicated yesterday, is there any specific thing that when you're analyzing that, when you go back and watch it on tape, what do you look for specifically? Or is certain things in certain plays or techniques, or how do you know that?
Yeah, I mean, there were, especially when you go into that fourth quarter, I mean, you saw our guys running to the ball. You saw our guys making plays. Even when it got to a point where all they were trying to do was run the ball, our guys didn't back down from that at all. And I would say that most of the time when that happens, I mean, that's when you have an effort issue. you saw guys, they were running on and off the field the whole time. Man, it was nothing about them that they were throwing up the white flag and they were quitting. So to me, that's the one thing I really want to look at and see how that was. Again, schematically, were there some things challenged? Absolutely. But again, our guys did not quit. I mean, they were running to the ball. They were trying to defend the pass. They were doing all those things they need to do to try to win that game. And that was evident when you go back and just watch the game. And again, watching it twice, that really showed up.
How much do games like this and, the way the last 4 games have gone, how much do they challenge your resolve and your belief? Because you're big into don't ever waver and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But does it make you second guess anything that you're doing or trying to do? I mean, I know the circumstances are tough right now, but does it challenge your belief at all?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I think there's a certain way that you win games in this league, and I think most coaches feel like that. And again, I've been through this before a number of times, and man, when you have a way that you feel like you can win games, and that way has been proven. I mean, I don't go away from that at all. I mean, obviously you want to tweak some things here and there depending on your team and how you want your team to be built. But when it comes to how you win, that's nowhere at all that I'm wavering from that. And I don't think our players are wavering from that either. And that's a good thing. Listen, we have one more game left. We have 1 week left to continue to improve, and that's what we're focused on. And this is a playoff team, so that gives us another chance to go out there and play against a playoff team, and I'm looking forward to that.
This is a brutal presser. I mean, this is just brutal. Does anyone actually believe this? Seriously. Does this sound like an NFL head coach that is ever going to lead the Jets to the postseason? Let's just lean back into Detroit when he said earlier in the year, I'm tired of talking about Detroit. Remember that? Do you remember when he said that? Well, I got news for you. The Detroit Lions, after their bye week, after they started, 0-8-1 or 0-9-1, they finished the year 3-4-1. They were trending in the right direction. They also had a quarterback in Goff, and they had the best offensive coach as their offensive coordinator in Ben Johnson. Look what he's done with the Bears this year. Again, there's no evidence that this gets any better next year. So why would we let him pick the next quarterback and spend the free agent money, right? They're going to sign players that are going to fit the scheme that they're going to run on defense. What scheme are they going to run? Why would a qualified defensive coordinator, by the way, want to take this job? Why would you want to work for that guy? He doesn't sound like a head coach, people. We need to be honest with ourselves. Stop pretending what we're seeing is normal. Or, they're tanking. They started 0-7. No Jet coach has ever started worse than 0-4 in their first year. We need to stop pretending like this just gets better. It's built on hope. There is no hope that we can latch onto. We've done this how many times? We are going to delay what we all know is coming. This 5-6 win season for Lucky next year. And the coaching change that follows after that. Again, for anyone trying to defend this head coach, what does he do well? What are his strengths? What can we point to that tells us this is the guy you want with a rookie quarterback? Tell me. They quit on him yesterday, and now he just tried to walk it back. You don't get to walk that back. He sounds like a guy who knows he could actually lose his job now. That's why he's trying to walk it back.
Yep, got you.
All right. The scores these last few weeks, you lose it by more than 21 points, I think 4 straight weeks.
Yeah.
How much does that A, bother you, and B, concern you?
Absolutely, it bothers me on a number of different levels because you want to play complementary football. And listen, these games, and I told the players this during the week, there are some weeks where you see the worst team, end up beating the best team. I mean, you saw Cleveland end up beating Pittsburgh yesterday, so you never know how these weeks are going to go. The only thing that you can control is the way that you play. right? So complementary football is something that we've been striving for a while, and we haven't had a chance to accomplish that, and I know that. So even when we are defensively, even when we're not as good defensively, man, we need our offense to come along and be able to help, along with our special teams too. And that goes vice versa. When our offense is not doing well, our defense has to do a better job. And I think you saw a little bit of that early in the season where our defense picked it up when our offense wasn't moving the ball as well. But right now, we're just not playing complementary football. No coach likes to lose by 20-some points. I mean, that's obvious. The thing that we got to do is, man, how do we eliminate those things? How do we schematically, how do we, as players, make these plays to make sure these things don't continue to happen?
You not to make excuses.
Yep.
Like when you're evaluating all this and you look at that film and you see the players that are out there, do you try to balance it with the fact that, a lot of these guys are young guys, a lot of these guys, may or may not be on the roster next year? Like, what does that factor into, like, the big picture when you're looking at these final scores and that kind of thing?
Listen, we have a way that we want to play every game. We have a way that, like the question before I asked, there's a philosophy on what I think wins games. And to me, I look at that, and I look at our brand as, man, this is how we're going to go about doing things. And that is,
you've done none of that. Stop telling me about your brand, how you're going about it. You're going to go 3-14. Only Gase and Kotite have lost 14 games in a single season as a Jet coach. I'm tired of listening to the bullshit from this head coach. Stop it. Stop it. There's no foundation. There's no evidence you have any clue what you're doing. The players quit on you yesterday. You have the worst point differential in the month of December in NFL history. Your brand is crap. That's your brand. Your brand is something we wipe our derriere with. That's your brand. Enough. Stop insulting the intelligence of this fan base. Stop. You have no brand. You fired the defensive coordinator. You have a brand new schematic system coming in. Brand new coaches. You have no quarterback. You got brand new quarterbacks coming in. Your hand-picked one you give $30 million to guaranteed is on the bench. Stop it. You have no brand. Your team quit on you. Stop telling us you know what wins, complimentary football. No, that's not today's NFL. It is about the X's and O's, out scheming people. He acknowledged New England. Man, they had some great schemes. They really had us on some plays. Yeah, that's every week. Look at the point differential in the first half of games this year. Look at some of the first halves they've had this year. Holy hell. They were down 20-6 to the Bucs. They were down 23-3 to the Cowboys. They were down 20-3 to the Bills. Down 24-7 to the Dolphins. Down 21-7 to the Jaguars. Down 35-3 to the Patriots. In those 6 games, the point differential was minus 114. They're never prepared. Ever. Look at the stats. This is just the first half. Then they get boat raced in the second half too most weeks. There's nothing you could say Aaron Glenn has improved. There is nothing you could say he does well as a head coach. There's nothing that he does that should give anyone who roots for this team, like we all do, any confidence he's the right guy. And if the only reason Woody's keeping him is because, money, then shame on Woody Johnson, who's a bazillionaire, who's raising the prices of season tickets after this disaster of a season. The Jets got booed coming out of the tunnel yesterday by Patriots fans. They got booed in pregame warmups. A year ago, the Jets were better than the Patriots. They finished in front of them. What changed? Gee, I wonder. If you know you don't have the right coach, stop delaying what we all know is coming. We are never winning with this guy, ever. Ever. We need to stop pretending like what we're seeing every week is normal. It's not. It is not. They quit on him yesterday. Quit. He looked like Gase up there in 2020 with that presser yesterday. He looked like a dead coach walking. We all know that look. We've done this long enough. Now we're going to walk back the effort comments because someone probably said to them, hey, man, you better walk that back. Yeah, this could get you fired. Like when Joe Judge had that abomination of a press conference in Chicago a couple of years ago, cost him his job too, when John Mara wanted to keep him. If Woody Johnson has any pulse, this coach should not be allowed to oversee a draft selection of a quarterback and spend $100 million in free agency on players. Dumb. How could anyone actually think this guy has a clue what he's doing?
It doesn't matter who's in the game because those guys are coached, those guys are in meetings, and we expect you to play to a high level. So, and I get it. We have, 3 rookies that's playing.
Here we go. I'm not going to make any excuses, but let me start trying to make excuses bringing up rookies that are playing. He's the master at this. He did it yesterday, too. He is such a phony. If you think this guy actually has a plan, or this is all part of the master plan. So, yes, we're going to start 0-7 after we gave Fields $30 million guaranteed, split up Rodgers' cap hit so we had more money for this year's team, made efforts to try and win now, right? Why did they make the trades before training camp or before the regular season for Briggs and Phillips if they were trying to go out there and tank? If this was all part of the master plan, it wasn't. They traded Sauce and Quinnen because they were 0-7, and Muji rightfully extracted max value. But now, yep, they got a plan. We're laying the foundation. You're 3-14 after the next week, coach. Enough. All right, you're on a list with Gase and Kotite. Again, it's not personal with Aaron Glenn. He's a good dude. He's a great Jet. We cannot ever take his Jet playing career away from him. But if he didn't play for the Jets 30 years ago, is anyone sitting here actually having any hope that he's the guy? Tell me what he does well as a head coach. What are his strengths? What has he improved? If you're doing a draft of the best coaches in the league right now, guess what? Aaron Glenn is probably either the second to last pick or the last pick behind Pete Carroll. Giants job's already open. Titans job's already open. Put yourself in the shoes of Giants fans, Bills fans, Patriots fans, Dolphins fans, right? Joe Caporoso said this on Badlands, and this is a great take. If you were a fan of those teams and you saw the current state of the Jets, how would you feel about Aaron Glenn? Would you feel confident that he was going to turn things around? You'd be laughing, saying, please keep him. Honestly, I hope New England kicking the crap out of our football team yesterday is a blessing in disguise because they might have beat the Jets by too much because maybe Woody Johnson actually wakes up and realizes we're never winning with this dude. Ever. Joke. So maybe when Woody gave Glenn his daily hug this morning, maybe the hug wasn't as sweet. And maybe he has some second thoughts because what an abomination this presser is today after what he said yesterday.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
Oh, yeah. Those hugs, baby. 3-14. Here we come.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. I mean, we got to go out there and we got to execute and we got to play. And is it tough on them? Absolutely it is. This is the NFL, and every game is going to be tough. But no one's going to make any excuses by who's in the game, who's not in the game. Guys, we got to work our asses off, and we got to win our one-on-ones and compete at the highest level.
What's the latest on Tyrod? Is he back with the team?
Say it again.
The latest on Tyrod Taylor, is he back with the team?
Well, I'm gonna talk to Tyrod later today. Again, it was a personal issue. I really don't want to get into that. That's something I want to make sure we keep between just me and Tyrod. But I will talk to Tyrod later today.
Aaron, just one game management question for you.
Yep.
So in the final 2 minutes of the first half, it's 28-3.
Yep.
Right. You bang a timeout. I think there's like a minute 48 left. You used 2 timeouts there.
Yeah, I got you.
I just want to get another possession.
Absolutely. Here's what I'm looking at. I didn't mean to cut you off. Here's what I'm looking at. I think it was 28-3. We had them in a backed up situation. I think I punted a really good job, put them in a backed up situation. I think we had 3 timeouts. The first play, they had a running play. It goes to 2nd and 7. I bang a timeout at that point. And absolutely, man, I'm trying to give our offense another chance because I know we're getting the ball back coming out of halftime. So, and then they throw a ball, which is incomplete. It ends up being 3rd and 7. Then at that point, I'm like, man, we have a real shot. I'm talking to Tanner now. I'll go from defense to talking to Tanner, man, let's get our 2-minute situation ready. Because if we can go and score, right, and get the 10 points, then come back at the halftime and score again 17 points, man, it's 28-17. We're back into this game. That's the only thing I'm thinking about as a coach is how do I give our guys a chance to get back in this game?
the same lines, in that same situation, Vrabel called a timeout with 19 seconds left, which kind of raised some eyebrows. What did you think of that?
I don't know. I'm not with the Patriots, so I have no idea.
Oh, my God. That is such a lame answer. Vrabel called a timeout, Aaron, for one specific reason. He wanted your pathetic piece of crap offense to have to run another play because they were running up the score on you. They wanted you to have to run another play so maybe the Patriots could actually get you to punt the ball back to them. My God. That's what Mike Vrabel was doing there. Like, are we serious? Do people listen to this and they actually think the biggest problem for this team is not the coach? I don't know what to tell you. Obviously, the owner's number one. I can't do anything about that. None of us can. The Jets are never prepared to play. They're always at the disadvantage schematically. So it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Drake May was the Patriots quarterback last year, too. What changed? Oh, we got real coaching. Gee, Caleb Williams was the quarterback of the Bears last year, too. What changed? Oh, we got real coaching. Justin Fields, we'll use him. He's not any good. Mike Tomlin went 4-2 with him. What happened? Oh, coaching. Like we could sit here and pretend like this is all part of the plan. It's not, people. It's not. They started 0-7. There's no way Woody Johnson is okay with this. How could he be? How could he be? 35-3 at halftime yesterday. 19 seconds left in the second quarter. The Pats sacked Brady Cook and then called a timeout. The Pats players are laughing. The coaches are laughing. Vrabel is mouthing F the Jets or F them on the sideline. The lip readers all have seen that clip that went viral yesterday. Mike Vrabel was rubbing it in. That's what happened yesterday. And Aaron Glenn is in there. Oh, I don't coach the Patriots. We wish you did. Because if you're a Pats fan, you're hoping Aaron Glenn stays the Jet head coach forever. Because you have guaranteed 2 wins against him. You are not winning with this guy. And look, I can't sit here and say whoever they hire is automatically the guy, but I know it's not this guy, so what are we doing? What are we doing? He was the wrong hire from the start. They spit in your face yesterday. They treated the Jets like the Jets were a JV team. Enough. They will never win with this guy. Ever. Ever.
What the thought process was.
Right. Seems a little unusual.
Did y'all ask him?
It just seemed unusual to call it
No.
timeout in 19 seconds left. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe he's trying to get the ball back. I don't know. Get asked.
Hold on a second. We're going to laugh about this? We're going to laugh about this. He's laughing at the sequence where Mike Vrabel basically said, F the Jets. I'm calling timeout with 19 seconds left in the second quarter because their offense sucks. I'm trying to get the ball back. I'm already up 35-3. I'm calling a timeout with 19 seconds left instead of just letting it go to the half, which was what Glenn was going to have happen if he didn't call timeout. I mean, that's sickening. Just bowing down to the Pats. I see this comment from Paul. He's spot on. Coach, they were punking you yesterday. Aaron Glenn said this week he wanted to make the Jets' last home game memorable. He made it memorable for every Patriots fan who was there because that's all who was there. It's like 10 Jet fans. Holy hell. This is such asinine. I'm sorry. There's nothing you could tell me he does well as a head coach. I'm sick of it. I'm not biting my tongue anymore. Oh, well, we got to hope he gets better. I mean, really? That's all we have?
Aaron, you talk about your brand and stuff like that. How often have you seen it, and how do you, I don't know, how do you get it to be seen more consistently?
Yeah, well, there was we were playing Jacksonville, and I showed the team this. And if you guys go and watch the way that we ran the ball against Jacksonville, I thought it was very, very impressive.
He's bringing up Jacksonville. He did not just reference the Jaguars game as an example of their brand. Oh, my God. The Jaguars game? Really? The Jaguars game. The final score was 48-20. They were down 34-10 at halftime. What? What? The Jaguar game? Oh my God. And whatever. Let's play the rest of this crappy presser. I got no words, man. If you're defending this, you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem.
Impressive on us controlling the line of scrimmage, us running the ball, being physical, being violent. It was actually after the third quarter. It was 12 seconds. We ran the ball. Our guys got into a shoving match. The quarter ends. Then we go down. We have a hell of a run on a physical play, and then we scored a touchdown. And then we had other runs after that, and we had the passes that Brady was actually starting to get into a rhythm against Jacksonville.
In garbage time, just like Justin Fields got into a rhythm against the Cowboys. Oh, my God. People, are you hearing what he's trying to reference as an example of their brand? They lost 48-20 to Jacksonville. It was 31-10 at halftime. The Jaguars are playing prevent defense. They want the clock to run out. They're not playing you tough in the second half. Are you serious? Holy hell. I am rooting for Buffalo to hang 60 on the Jets this week. I cannot root for this coach anymore. Done. He's applauding garbage time stats. They asked him the question again, people, so we all understand what he is saying here. They asked him, what is it? You talk about your brand. What is an example of you showing your brand as a football team? And he's referencing the Jaguars game. Any part of that game should be burnt from every Jet fan's memory. He's using this as an example of progress or his brand on display, what they want to be as a team. They lost 48-20. He fired his defensive coordinator after the game. It was so bad. Oh, my God. If you are defending this, seek help. Seek help. I know I need help because I still watch this team every week and care so much about them, but we're never winning with them, ever.
That was the brand of football that I want our guys to see, and I showed the whole team that. Right, defensively, I mean, there were some games early in the season that we were really, really like stymie as far as stopping the run and playing the pass. I showed our guys that. That's the brand that we want to play with.
What? The defense sucked week 1. The defense sucked week 2. The defense sucked week 3. The defense sucked week 4. The defense sucked week 5. Earlier in the year, they played well in Denver when they lost because of your coaching indecisions and lack of decision-making. Not benching Fields at any point for Tyrod in the second half. Not knowing how long the game-winning field goal was in London. Not throwing the Hail Mary before halftime and then making the same mistake against Carolina a week later. Yeah, defense played well in Denver and against Carolina. Great. And then what happened against the Bengals? Holy hell. Folks, he's referencing a game the Jets got killed 48-20. He's referencing a game the Jets were down 31-10 at halftime as a game where the Jets played the style of football they want to play. He said he showed these plays to the whole team. No wonder why they quit on him. I get it now. That's the type of coaching they're getting behind the scenes. Great job, Woody.
And sometimes you have to show your guys things so it could be remembered on this is how we play. And
yes, this is how we play against the Jaguars when we're down 31-10 at halftime and we lose 48-20 overall. We got to remind the team how we play because we played so great we had to then fire the defensive coordinator with 3 games to go in my first season on the job.
And listen, I understand to the outside world, people might not understand that.
Oh, we don't understand it. Your guys don't. They quit on you, coach. Say what you're about to say.
Know exactly what our brand is. We just have to do it consistently.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, everyone.
All righty.
That was one of the most embarrassing press conferences in the history of professional football. Joke. We all deserve so much better. I'm sorry. He's referencing the Jacksonville game. I don't know, man. I got no words. Honestly. I don't. If you're defending this, holy hell. Blair says Jets need to move to Citi Field. Doesn't matter. We got bigger problems right now. Mark in the raffle for 5. Thank you, Mark.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
Give you a big fat hug. Mr. Chill King. He seems so stubborn to change. The past is what he clings on to as the game's evolving. That Parcells ball doesn't work today. This old path is bad. He's not an X's and O's guy. He's not football smart in the sense of the other modern day coaches. You could see it. He preaches principles that worked in the 90s. It doesn't work today. Robbie Sable has been all over this from the beginning. We focus on the wrong problems with this team. And the one thing he was supposed to do was to clean up the penalty problem, get guys to play hard. He preached development. There's no development here. Oh, my God. I thought the big headline was him walking back basically they quit on me comments yesterday. But I think a bigger deal is him being asked to cite an example of like what the Jets brand is and when they've recently done it. And he referenced the game they lost 48-20 because they ran the ball well. Holy hell, folks. Where are the Glenn Truthers at? Call in, please. Defend your boy. Let's put the call-in line out there for people. Let's do it. Would love to hear from the Glenn Truthers. Would love to hear it. Especially that guy, Jay Reeves, in the chat. I'll never call in. He has what we call Jay syndrome, which, for those who aren't aware, is a rare condition in which the lights just get a little too bright to actually offer Jets opinions by calling into a Jets talk show. Instead, you'll just shit talk the host the entire show, watch every second of said show, but not actually call in. Wrong Verb says, I'm still laughing at they ran to the ball.
The quarter ends, then we go down. We have a hell of a run on a physical. I showed the whole team that.
Hold on.
They're actually starting to get on a physical play, and then we scored a touchdown, and then we had it was controlling the line of scrimmage. He ran the ball, and I showed up.
Be seen more consistently.
Yeah, well, there was.
And how do you I don't know, how do you get it to be seen more consistently?
Yeah, well, there was
I want everyone to hear the beginning of the question again.
Aaron, you talk about your brand and stuff like that.
You talk about your brand and stuff like that.
How often have you seen it, and how do you I don't know, how do you get it to be seen more consistently?
Yeah.
How often have you seen it, and how do you get it to be more consistently? That's the question, right? This is a coach who's 3-13, about to be 3-14. He's asked about his brand, which he's talked about all year, what the Jets are supposed to be, what they're trying to be, and this is the reference he gives us.
Well, there was we were playing Jacksonville, and I showed the team this, and if you guys go and watch the way that we ran the ball against Jacksonville, I thought it was very, very impressive on us controlling the line of scrimmage, us running the ball, being physical, being violent. It was actually after.
Just so everyone knows, the Jets didn't run for like 300 yards against the Jaguars. They ran for 130. They lost 48-20. Hey, is this coach serious? Does he think this fan base is just dumb? Now, we actually are dumb because we keep coming back for more for this. But again, really? He's going to try and insult our intelligence with this? This is the best example he can come up with?
The third quarter, it was 12 seconds. We ran the ball. Our guys got into a shoving match. The quarter ends. Then we go down. We have a hell of a run on a physical play, and then we score a touchdown. And then we had other runs after that, and we had the passes that Brady was actually starting to get into a rhythm against Jacksonville. That was the brand of football that I want our guys to see, and I showed the whole team that. Right, defensively, I mean, there were some games early in the season that we were really, really like stymie as far as stopping the run and playing the pass. I showed our guys that. That's the brand that we want to play with. And sometimes you have to show your guys things so it can be remembered on this is how we play.
Hey, if you want them to see how they should play, then you know what you should do? Never show them the New York Jets. Show them the Rams. Show them the Niners. Hell, show them the Patriots. Show them the Bills. Show them basically any team that's not the Raiders or the Giants. Even Cleveland with nothing to play for yesterday was able to win against Pittsburgh. Chris Oladokin almost beat the 1 seed in the AFC on Christmas. Max Brosber won a football game with the Vikings. What are we doing, man? Jay says, we fired 2 coaches in 2 years. Who'd want to come here? Did you see what the Texans did? They fired 3 coaches in 3 years and then got D'Amico Ryans. See what the Niners did? They fired 3 coaches in 3 years. Chip Kelly, Jim Tom Sula, then hired Kyle Shanahan. If you know Glenn's not the guy, and it sounds like maybe Jay's admitting, hey, I don't know crap. He's not the guy. So now I'll pivot on, well, who would take this job if it opens again? I don't know. I think someone would. There's only 32 of them. They pay incredibly well. You have 2 picks in the first round, 2 in the second. You have $100 million in cap space. You have a good offensive line. You have a number 1 wide receiver. You have 3 first-rounders in 2027. I don't know. Something tells me I could get someone who is better than maybe the worst head coach the franchise has ever employed. It's in the conversation. I mean, this is Gase and Kotite levels of bad. Gase won 7 games his first year. This is Kotite bad. I don't know. I could find someone. Again, we don't need to pretend like this is normal. Nate says Brandon Tierney has a very different view on Glenn. Having him on as a guest would be awesome now that he's a free agent. Yes, I agree with you, Nate. I'd love to have BT on. I've known him for years. See what I could do about that. Peter says, Jake, the only reason he got a job, he let Woody know he didn't want Rodgers. Yeah, again, it's not that they moved on from Rodgers, but when your pivot is Fields and you say you signed him because he was tough to game plan against, then you say, we're going to let him play quarterback, and Charles London's the quarterback coach. Then you say he's never been coached up properly, and he goes 4-2 in Pittsburgh last year, and Tomlin still benched him. He benched him for Russell Wilson, who was washed. That's who Fields got benched for. Jets like, we got to get him. We got to hand him $30 million guaranteed. No, we don't want Brissett or Jameis Winston. We got to get Fields. He's the guy. And look, at the time, I understood the upside, but you can't talk the way they did about him, and it goes this poorly. And expect us just to be like, well, they took a chance. It's fine. This wasn't a 1-year, $5 million deal. There's major cap ramifications of carrying Fields. Now, the Jets have a lot of cap, so it's not going to kill them. But we don't need to pretend like it's normal to pay a quarterback $30 million guaranteed for 9 starts, and now we're going to cut him. Terry says, Jake, the Bills game opened negative or minus 12.5. Now it's at 8.5. Why? Maybe uncertainty on which starters of the Bills will play. It's at 9.5 on FanDuel right now, Terry. Kevin says Jake's cranky because he was up early today. You're not wrong. Did 4 hours of radio. Back at it tomorrow on ESPN New York from 6 to 10. Joe writes in, what do you think the chances are that Dante Moore comes out? 95%? 90%? Amazing. What a season. What a season. All right. Some of your calls here before we do a raffle. Again, we're giving away a Jets jersey of your choosing today. Namath, Klecko, Martin, Corbett, Revis, Mangold, and we'll throw Keyshawn in there as well. First up today on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is Noah Black. Noah, are you there? I don't actually see a camera turned on, so I don't know if Noah's there. Noah, get the cam on, and we'll come to you. In the meantime, we'll go to a different caller instead. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time.
Pointing, Garrett Box, point at you, Garrett Box, I point at you, Garrett Box, I'm pointing, I'm pointing, Box, I'm pointing, I'm pointing, Garrett Box, point at you, I point.
Jake, I made, first off, I'm at the point with this team. Do you ever do something so bad that your father just looks at you and goes, I'm not even mad at you. I'm just disappointed in you. That's where I am with the Jets. Like, I'm not even mad. I'm not yelling and screaming. It's just, I'm disgusted by this team. Like, I can't believe this is how they behave. I'm disgusted. I'm not even mad. I'm not throwing things. I'm not cursing. I'm just saddened that this is my team. That's where I am with them.
Well, think about it like this, Gary. 15 years of this playoff drought. You have an entire generation that has only known the Jets being garbage. Seriously. Yeah. Like, there are people who just care about their fantasy teams. I've met so many, like, Jet fans. Like, yeah, I'm a Jet fan, but, like, you know, I care about my fantasy team or my bets. Like, that's an entire generation because it's 15 years of being bad. Like, there's a lot of people don't remember the Rex years. It's a long time ago already.
Well, when I was in college, the Jets were pretty good. Like, they made the playoffs 3 times in 4 years, I think. So they were pretty good. They won twice. They won 2 rounds in the playoffs. They beat the Colts. They beat the Chargers. Like, they were good. And I'm just thinking, if you're college age now, you've never even seen them make the playoffs. Think about that. Like, you're not old enough to have. If you're in college, you're not really old enough to have seen them make the playoffs.
It's sad.
Yeah, that's wild. Like, that's crazy how long the streak is at this point. I'm going to make an analogy to my Longhorns. Mac Brown won a national championship. He was beloved in Austin. He lost 2 years in a row in 2012 and 2013 to Oklahoma by like 40 points plus. It was 2 years in a row. They had to fire him. They had to. They couldn't bring him back. It was just too embarrassing. If the Jets go out and play like this again and lose to Buffalo and New England by 30 points, whatever, do you have to fire him? Is it just done? Like, I can't bring him back. This is too embarrassing to the franchise now. We have to make a change. If they lose 42-10 again, or whatever the hell the score was yesterday, you just have to fire Glenn. That this is just too embarrassing at this point.
I'd fire him. I'm at a point. Like, what are we doing? Like, how does this get better, Gary? Seriously, he doesn't coach offense. He doesn't coach defense. Every major decision has been a disaster. Why are we letting him make monumental decisions with the quarterback selection and all this money they're going to spend in free agency? Like, the job, they have all these assets. Don't you want someone who knows what they're doing making these decisions? Oh, it's just maybe if they do get killed by Buffalo, that'd be the final straw. I don't know. I mean, if it's Mitch Trubisky doing it, that's got to help. No, like if they're resting Allen.
I feel like it doesn't even matter who it is at this point. Like the Jets are going to score 0.
They quit on him. I mean, the players know they quit on him.
They're NFL players. They shouldn't be getting blown out like this every week now. And then, like, he's referencing the Jacksonville game. The Jacksonville game should be burnt from your memory. As a head coach, you should never talk about it again. Like, never again do we talk about the Jacksonville game. But what did he say? We ran the ball well that game? Is that what he said?
He referenced how they ran the ball.
Are you kidding me? Don't ever mention that game ever again. I'm sorry. I apologize to the fan base. That's on me. I'll never mention it again. I'll do better. I'm not going to reference that game as if we did something good in that game. This is out of hand now. Like, he's referencing the Jacksonville game to feel good. What was this, 48-20? And it was only that close because of garbage time. It's like, are you kidding me? I'm not even mad. Like, it's just, there's no point in getting mad at this team. My only hope is that they lose so bad next week that you have to, it's a come to Jesus moment. Like, we're getting blown out every week. This is embarrassing. The players have quit on him. Everyone has quit on him. We can't bring him back because once you lose the locker room, you've lost.
I mean, listen to the comments from Jermaine and Brees. They know. People, they know. Again, Brees said it. You don't think it's a coincidence that Brees put out a tweet last night watching Sunday Night Football like we all were about, man, the offenses just look easy out there. These guys aren't coached properly. And also, for all the people who love Tanner Engstrand, and, I've tried to defend him at times, but, like, the reality is this. Dane Campbell could have promoted Tanner Engstrand. He didn't. Ben Johnson could have taken Tanner Engstrand with him to Chicago. He didn't. Why is Tanner Engstrand going with Aaron Glenn? What other options did he have?
Every decision they've made has been wrong. And it's
other than Chris Banjo, which was recommended by Mike Westhoff. So God bless Mike for that. But I got news for you. You could fire Glenn and Banjo could be retained for the next head coach, just like Westhoff was for how many different head coaches. And Brant Boyer was here for Bowles, Gase, and Saleh. It could be done.
It feels like there's no hope, right? Like there's no hope with the Jets. Like, how does this ever get better? You just had to blow the whole thing up. Like,
well, we got to wait another year apparently because why be proactive now like the Patriots were? Let's sit back and let's just waste another year. And again, remember when Denver?
That's what it is. It's a wasted year, Jake. You know whatever. You know we're gonna suck again next year, and then we're gonna fire the coach and start all over again a year from now. It's like, why don't we just cut the fat and just restart now? I know.
Agree. Denver fired Nathaniel Hackett. They then acquired Sean Payton. They recognized a mistake. Like, why are we pretending Glenn's going to just magically improve as a head coach? There's no indication that he has any idea what he's doing. None. Again, I don't enjoy saying this. But I feel like I'm taking crazy pills when I see so many people online coming after me for rightfully be critical of this coach. I'm sick of it. I'm not just going to sit here and keep my mouth shut and be like, well, we got to hope he gets better. I'm going to voice my opinion. And if people disagree with it, that's fine. But I'm going to end up being on the right side of history here because I have seen no evidence to support anything he does well as a coach. So I'm just not going to waste my time. I know what's coming. They're going to go 5-13 next year, 5-12. And he's going to be fired then, and we're going to waste our time.
If his name wasn't Aaron Glenn, if he didn't play cornerback, Pro Bowl cornerback for the Jets for 10 years, no one would care. You just fire him. But I love Glenn as a player too. It's clearly not working out as head coach. Clearly, we tried it. We all like Glenn. We all wanted the best. But the only reason why they're defending Aaron Glenn, the coach, is because of Aaron Glenn, the New York Jet player. That's it. If it wasn't Aaron Glenn, nobody would be defending him. If this was a guy that played for the Seahawks or didn't play in the NFL at all, no one would be defending him. This is indefensible. I wanted him to work out too. It would have been a great story if it did. Guess what? It failed miserably. It failed epically. It's not working. He's got to go.
We could sit here and pretend again, I keep coming back to this. What we're watching is normal. There's nothing normal about breaking an NFL record for point differential in December. There's nothing normal about becoming the first team since the 70s to lose by 23 or more 4 consecutive weeks. It's not normal. That doesn't happen.
One of my best friends from college is a Patriots fan. He's from Boston. He's a huge Patriots fan, Celtics fan, Red Sox fan, right? And I get a text from him like, oh, this is going to be good. And he just texts me. He goes, is this stat true? You guys really have 0 interceptions this year? I was like, yeah, that's true. I thought he was going to rub it in. He's going to make fun of me. Because what was the score at half? 42-3? Was it 35-3?
35-3.
35-3 at the half. I'm getting this text. I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun. He's like, do you guys really not have any interceptions this year? I was like, no, we really don't. It's just like how?
He's a former DB. That's the craziest part.
Yeah, I know. It's wild.
And if you don't think coaching matters, look at Al Harris coaching up the Chicago Bears after what he did with the Cowboys when he was there on McCarthy's staff. Coaching matters, man. Scheme, putting guys in position to make plays. All the Vikings players were lauding Brian Flores the other night, saying Coach Flo put us in the right positions to make plays. They had 6 turnovers against Goff. It's coaching.
Yeah.
What does that say, Gary?
My only hope is we get blown out so bad. We get this next week looks like this week, and they have to fire Glenn. That there's no it's basically demanded. The players have basically said fire him. Without saying it, they've said please fire Glenn. Why don't we listen to him? All right, Jake, it's time, bro.
Chicken with pasta is worse than peanut butter with sandwich.
I want to show something on the screen here. Look at the stats for quarterbacks against the Jets this year. 13-3 record, 7.4 yards per attempt, 64.5 completion percentage, 32 touchdowns throwing, 2 rushing, so 34 total touchdowns, 0 interceptions. If you play the Jets, you're going to have an MVP stat line. And again, we could sit here and be like, well, Jake, the defense doesn't have sauce at Quidin. They sucked with those guys too. They weren't playing like we know how good they could play when they're at their best. Up until yesterday, even after the trades, the Jets still had 7 guys that we know are good football players, or they told us would be good football players. Sherwood, Quincy, Jermaine, Phillips, Stevens, Briggs, McDonald. Why are they this bad on defense? Why? Aaron Glenn said he's helping Chris Harris more. People can come up with every excuse you want for Aaron Glenn. The only thing people can't come up with is what he actually does well as a head coach. You can't cite one thing, one tangible thing that you say, Jake, at least he's doing this. At least we have this. He's qualified to take us into the next stage of this rebuild by drafting a quarterback and surrounding the roster with talent with $100 million plus in cap space because of this. I can make a compelling case for Darren Muji. He understands value and trades. He's made some good in-season trades. But even that is not enough where it's like, oh, my God, I got to keep Muji around, so I can't fire Glenn because they're a package deal. Like, what are we doing? Joe says it's rude to point, Gary. Bang Mateo, hire Arthur Smith to develop 2 rookie quarterbacks with kid mittens. Arthur Smith. Look, I'm not going to poo-poo Arthur Smith. He's better than obviously what we have now, but I would like to have the bar a little higher if we're going to do someone who's already been a head coach. Cliff Kingsbury comes to mind, and my number 1 choice would be Mike McCarthy. Sam in the raffle for 2. Gary thinks he has to lose again to be fired. Send him to the hole, please. I think what Gary was referencing is if they get destroyed again, right? They quit on him like they just did. Would that increase the likelihood of Woody acting? I do think it would. So I don't think it's hole worthy. I think Gary's right. I think it's a fair question. All right, couple calls left, then the raffle. Say hello to Noah, who's got his camera figured out. What's up, Noah?
What's up, man? How you doing, brother?
I'm hanging in, dude. I'm hanging in. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, brother. Yeah, so my biggest thing is I know that you were saying like fire Aaron Glenn, and I'm with you, bro. He's not doing his job or whatever, but who are we realistically gonna hire him with? That like who's and when I say that, right, it's not like I want to keep Aaron Glenn around. Who's gonna want to come coach for the New York Jets, bro? So yeah, you're gonna have to answer me that, because if we fire Aaron Glenn right now, who's gonna come through and really want to coach their heart out for the New York Football Jets, bro? Who's gonna want to do that?
I think there'd be plenty of candidates interested.
Like who?
Mike McCarthy, Cliff Kingsbury, Clint Kubiak.
Okay, so why do you think Mike McCarthy, Clint Kubiak, and these other guys would want to coach and put their reputation on the line for coaching our team? Our team isn't good. And here's the thing, right, Jake? Like, if we fire Aaron Glenn, who's homegrown, we drafted him and everything like that, and then we fire him, it's a bad look, because it's like, yo, if they're gonna do that to a player to a coach that played there for him, who wanted to be here and be part of the rebuild, and they just fired him after 1 season, why would I even risk it?
He said this wasn't a rebuild. He said they're here to win now. And then he grossly miscalculated the roster. He doesn't get to now say, oh, it's a rebuild. We didn't expect to win right away. Nope. No way. And,
no, you're right. Yeah, I misspoke. What I'm saying is
your question, Noah, like why Mike McCarthy's unemployed right now? Why wouldn't he want to be an NFL head coach of a team with 5 first-round picks over the next 2 years and $112 million in salary cap space, with an offensive line intact, with Garrett Wilson?
Ownership. One word. Ownership.
Okay.
Ownership.
Well,
ownership.
Then he'll get a fat check and get an opportunity to win and wouldn't have to worry about ownership necessarily.
And my counter to that would be like, all right, how many other we had that opportunity just last year?
Right.
We had that opportunity last year.
They didn't interview McCarthy. They didn't request him because they had Aaron Rodgers.
I'm with you on, they dropped the ball on not interviewing McCarthy. They should have interviewed everybody that was available. My thing is, it's like that same fat check that you're talking about was available to the open coaching candidacies last season, and we only had what we had. Not a lot of people are going to.
But Glenn was considered a normal candidate. Like, he had an interview with the Saints as well for a head coaching opening. People wanted the job last year. Like, they went through a process where they interviewed a bunch of different coaches. Brian Flores could have been a better hire than Aaron Glenn.
No, I was a Brian Flores guy,
That's
and
who
I wanted to keep.
That's who I wanted of the guys.
And I wanted to keep Aaron Rodgers. I wanted to keep Aaron Rodgers. That's a fact. So when they let go of Aaron Rodgers, I was already like, okay. The only reason why I agreed with that was because it was like they're just trying to start a whole new everything. So I was like, okay. But
if we know Glenn is not the guy and he's giving you no reason to move forward with him, why would we just keep him? Because, it might look bad if we fired a franchise legend. How'd it look for the Patriots? They got over it pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah, but you see what you did, though, is they fired Gerard Mayo and got right with Mike Vrabel. All right, Jake, put it like this. If you can guarantee me and be like, yo, Noah, we fire Aaron Glenn right now, we guarantee Mike McCarthy, then this conversation's over, bro, and you got it. But if we can't, what I'm saying is what can we actually guarantee in comparison to what we actually want? Those are two different conversations. What we can guarantee is
how are you assuming that they couldn't get some of these candidates? How do you know that?
Bro, we're the Jets. That's just like when's the last time that the New York Jets landed a big fish head coach?
Todd Bowles was the assistant coach of the year coming off that year, was thought to be the next great coach. Okay. Robert Saleh was the number one candidate during that hiring cycle. Let's not have revisionist history on that. We all thought he was going to Detroit.
No. Well, to be fair, when Robert Saleh was hired, I was geeked because that's the Super Bowl year, right? They came from a Super Bowl, whatever. He was the DC over there. I was geeked, whatever. But these are, again, first-time head coaches. We don't want first-time head coaches.
Again, if you already know Aaron Glenn's not the guy, don't let him make one of the most important decisions in franchise history coming up.
I'm with you. I'm saying my only question to you
is, dude. Noah, they could get a coach. It's one of 32. It pays incredibly well. It's all guaranteed. Again, you could get someone that will take this job. John Gruden would die to be a head coach in the league. Mike McCarthy doesn't have a job right now. Brian Flores would love to be a head coach once again. Matt Nagy would love to be a head coach once again. I'm not saying I'd hire these
Matt Nagy.
I'm giving you names. I'm giving you names of guys who are all better than Glenn.
You're right. Okay.
Matt Nagy went to the playoffs twice and won 12 games one of those years. I don't want him. I'm just saying the idea that we could sit here and be like, yep, we got to keep Glenn because who else would want this job? Dude, have some self-esteem. Look at the roster for the Jets. There's some players already in place. You have $100 million in cap space. You have 5 first-round picks over the next 2 years. That's an enormous amount of capital.
So let's go with the Brian. Let's go with the Brian Flores situation, right? Me and you both wanted Brian Flores, right? And he got his interview and everything like that. And yeah, I feel like they should have moved forward with him because he was a veteran head coach. But I think he played it smart. He stayed where he's at right now. What I'm saying is, if you have a chance, if you're a second-time head coach going in, right? First-time head coach, I'm not with it. If you're a second-time head coach or third-time head coach, you only get so many bites at the apple, is what I'm saying.
You typically get 2 chances at the most to be a head coach, typically.
Right, and you don't want to be on your second-to-last try with the New York Jets. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you don't know that it wouldn't work with the Jets. Again, I don't think the Jets are nearly as bad as what they have played this year. That's the whole point. There are some pieces here. Do they not have
got guys? We got guys.
Right. So it's a more attractive job than you're saying. They could find someone that's better than Glenn. Glenn might be the worst coach they've ever had in franchise history.
He's top 5 for sure. Yeah, top 3 even.
Top
3. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
So tight. Gase and Glenn is the only coaches that have lost 14 games or more in a season. He's the first coach to ever start worse than 0-4.
One thing I don't want to lose sight of, though. Let's not forget Adam Gase, bro. That shit was bad. I was there for that, bro. Yeah, Adam Gase was really bad, bro.
Gase was horrible, but he won 7-9 his first year with a worse team. Look at the 2019 Jets. Look what the job Greg Williams did coordinating that defense. Jordan Jenkins was our best player, him and Jamal. He turned Jamal into an all-pro. That's how they got 2 first-rounders for him in the first place.
My fault, bro.
Look, I'm not sitting here telling you this is like the greatest of jobs to work with Woody Johnson, but if the only rational argument for keeping Glenn is, I don't know who they could get someone who'd be better than Aaron Glenn. I'm confident in that.
No, and I'm not saying that, but my thing is, there's a lot more things at play. I'm not even saying to stick with Aaron Glenn. If we can if we can find someone who guaranteed to, if we can get a Mike McCarthy, I'm with you 1,000,000,000%, bro. Drop Glenn, go to McCarthy. I was a Glenn believer for the longest, like, hey, these things take time, whatever. But then you see in all these 1-year turnarounds, and I'm a New York Jets fan that lives in New England. So the pain is different. You know what I mean? Like, I have to look at these Patriots fans in their face every day when we was just in front of them last year. So I get it. But the biggest thing is quarterback. And then the second biggest thing is coaching. And we don't have either. You know what I mean? We took too long to get Fields out and Tyrod in. And our defensive-minded coach is not orchestrating a defense. Like with Robert Saleh, we at least had a formidable defense.
And they won
at least
4 games with Zach Wilson. They won 7 games with Zach Wilson in consecutive years. They were more competitive. There were signs. There was player development on defense.
Once I saw the defense starting to taper off, that's when I knew, like, all right, bro, I'm out. But all I'm saying is, Jake, if you telling me right now that Brian Flores, or more importantly, Mike McCarthy, or who's that guy from the Redskins? You know what I'm talking about.
Cliff Kingsbury. Noah, again, I don't know. I can't guarantee you these guys would take the job. What I will tell you is I'm very confident that the next coach they hire wouldn't start 0-7 and would do a better job, especially if that coach is someone who's going to coordinate the offense for the young quarterback we're taking. Look at Kellen Moore and the job he's doing with Tyler Shuck right now. That's where the league is going. So we could sit here and pretend like what we're seeing is normal here. It's not. Like, again, we don't need to act like, oh my God, who would get this job? Oh, who would want it? Plenty would want it. It's 1 of 32. Aaron Glenn's being paid $10 million a year. Like, can we stop? Come on. Jets Johnny, who's a Glenn lover, says, LMFAO, you ain't serious about McCarthy. So now we're going to try and belittle Mike McCarthy. He has a 608 winning percentage. Aaron Glenn's 3-14. What's Mike McCarthy's floor? Probably more wins in a single year than Glenn will have in his total Jet career if he's retained and he goes 5-12 next year. Come on. Mike Perez says, if seeing the viral Vrabel clip doesn't get you hot, you're part of the problem. God, I hate the Pats with my entire soul. This is under rock bottom. Tough to argue, Mike. More calls. Big Santa is next on the show today. Ho, 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 Big Santa.
Ho, ho, ho. Speaking of hoes, yeah, Aaron Glenn, it's time for him to go. You send him off to the North Pole with Rudolph and Dasher and all my wonderful reindeer. And he needs to go out to pasture with them. It's time. It's time. So I wanted to compliment you.
Hold on, let me correct Jets Johnny here because he's bothering me. He doesn't have a clue about anything. McCarthy's so good yet unemployed. So was Mike Vrabel last year. Next. Thank you. Continue, Santa.
I wanted to compliment you on your show last night on television. You did a very good job last night, sir.
Well, thank you, Santa.
Yes. I was very impressed with the way you handled it, and it was an excellent performance by you. There is a little boy that received presents. A little boy from Chicago.
Really?
Yes. Hermie the elf, the one that wanted to be a dentist. He should have been a dentist because he fucked up everything with the tracking of Santa's package.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we need to find out what Big Santa delivered for a beast in Chicago.
It's Santa Beast time from the Global Studios. It's not really an attic. You can't lace his boots or wipe his ass. Merry Christmas, bitches.
did a great job last night on television. You look very pimp there, Jake. You're looking pimp.
Thanks, Beast.
Nice Gucci shoes there. Gucci.
They are not Gucci.
Oh no. Okay, not good. Okay. Because I would like you're looking good with them Gucci shoes. They're looking like a pimp there. That's why I say, man. Gotta keep that pimp thing driving alive, baby. And Santa is right. Aaron Glenn gotta go. I'm sorry. After what we saw yesterday, an embarrassment to society. I got 3 guys that are gonna take this job seriously. Big fella's one of them. Tommy's another. And Dave Brigham will lead by example. And I will lead the charge. What we're gonna do, we're gonna reinstall discipline into this team. This team is soft. Soft. I'm sorry to say, it's soft like a t-shirt. We are
Little Jason.
The United States.
Little Jason. Little
I'm
Jason,
sick
go
and
get
tired
the
of it.
packages and stop bloviating over everyone.
Round number 1. Shall we? Get the drum roll, please. At round number 1. Holy mother of God. One of my favorite places I would love to try. Good old Tedescio's. The greatest sandwich place in America. I'm going to try one day. There's one. Let's go to round 2.
Jake, there's some callbacks in this.
Oh my God. What the hell do we have here? Ladies and gentlemen. Holy Jesus. We got a winner. Look at this. Look at what we have here. In the words of the great 15, well, look at what we have here. Boy, he looks like a winner. Boy, big fella, this sure says it, man. You look just like a P-I-M-P. Pimp. Now, this is what you call pimping, baby. Pimping.
Little boys
ain't
love
easy,
presents.
baby. Let's go to number 3. Go to number 3. What?
How many presents are there, Santa?
There's about 8.
8?
Yeah. Santa appreciates the entertainment value of Little Jason.
I hope these are chocolate chip cookies. Knowing me, I'm a cookie man myself. The cookie man. Oh my God. Oh my God. Holy crap. That looks amazing. That looks pimp.
Calm your freaky down.
Sounds like Beast.
Hey, I am a pimp. But
Put the hat on, Jason.
Thank you very. Holy Jesus! Oh my God, we got a killer here. We got the new and improved, the meaner, the destroyer. Welcome, your worst nightmare. We got a nightmare. We got more nightmares. Does Alice Cooper want nightmares? Merry Christmas to all. What the hell do we have here? Oh my God. A world of pain.
Here's a callback.
Oh my God.
Turn it around.
Look at this. This is what I call comedy. Very good comedy. I love this. It's funny looking.
Show everyone what it says, Little Jason.
I'm not a girl, but I can beat up. This is comedy. This is the comedy of the century. Hey, you can't. Hey, Gallagher, eat your heart out on that one, Sonny. You can't beat that. You definitely cannot beat that. That's comedy with pure gold to it. Now, what do we got here? Oh, the boys from one of my favorite places. Hello, baby. I love you guys. You guys great people. Hey, if you guys want action, you want good action, let me just say this. Crispy Pizza's got great distribution. If you want good pizza, oh yeah. That's what I call pimp, baby. P-I-M-P.
What gift number are we up to?
Oh my, what in the holy mother.
Let's speed this up, Beast. I got things to do today.
Hurry it up, Beast.
All right. I'm gonna do one more here, and then let's try and party up. Nice.
Oh, there's one.
Sauce
There's
Gardner,
one in there. You
remember
have
him?
to.
A signed Sauce Gardner jersey.
Sign. We got. Let's see. What do we got here? What the hell do we have here? Holy shit, moly!
Is that the one?
I'm a moly.
Oh
I
yeah.
would look sexy. Oh, definitely. I will definitely look hot and sexy in this because you know me.
Oh my
I
God.
am a pimp in disguise, baby.
Hey, turn it around. Turn it around. The other side. Other side. We need to see the cape from the other side. And put
Oh
it on
my
your back.
God.
Yeah.
Hey, now this is what you call bow, bow, bow. You got to look pimp. I mean, you got to look pimp. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean. Hey. That had a kick to it.
Now,
Just
Beast,
like a pimp says to
what do
his
you
hoe.
say to Big Santa, the big fella?
Big fella, you're now part of my security and service when we have that big old barbecue coming up. And you know what that means? P-A-R-T-Y. Big
No, you say
Jacob.
thank you. You say thank you, Big Santa.
Thank you, Jacob. I appreciate it, and I'm sorry for the delay. Fuck Hermie, and have a great day, everyone. Happy holidays.
Ho,
and-
ho, big cho.
What a show. We go from excoriating the head coach of a 3-13 football team to that. All right, home stretch. You got a couple calls left. NY Jet Fandom says, what are you willing to do? Says, think can get McCarthy's. I mean, it feels too good to be true, right? Mike McCarthy comes in and he hires Jim Schwartz to be his DC. That'd be amazing. That would stabilize us immediately. That's why it won't happen. JP, Joe, and then Jake will close us out before the raffle. What's up, JP?
Hey, Jake, how we doing? It's been a minute.
I'm hanging in, JP. What do you got for us?
Yeah, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the team and kind of just for the viewers. Like, I think this is a good job. I think that this concern over someone not wanting the Jets job, I think is ludicrous. Like, we have a solid offensive line. Garrett Wilson, hopefully we'll bring back Brees, right? We draft a quarterback. So I do think we need to have a established head coach. I'm not a McCarthy guy, but I think Kingsbury could be interesting. Not my first choice, but maybe preferably more of a CEO type. Aaron Glenn, obviously first time head coach, not really the greatest choice. I'm with you. I think he's got to go. I think part of this is that if you know it's wrong, you just have to cut the cord. You just have to cut it. Like, I think a lot of people who are like, hey, give Aaron Glenn a chance. Like, I'm not about it. This team is like, they've quit on him. They really have. And like, you just know. And so you speaking up about it, I think is huge. Anybody who's not speaking up about it too, you're part of the problem. I agree with you. Like, he's got to go. But I do think if we're going to bring in a young QB, we got to make sure that we have at least an offensive mind to make sure we can nurture him. And I think part of that is, having, and I actually think this is the best kind of infrastructure we've had in place for bringing in a young QB in the past. I think it's solid offensive line, a solid wide receiver as a weapon who's established. If we bring Brees back, obviously we have some holes on the defense, but we obviously have picks to address that over the course of 2 years. I think, honestly, it's a great job. Tell me I'm wrong.
Look, I can't sit here and say it's a great job, JP, because of the owner, but I don't think it's like a job no one would want. There's some pieces here. You have two bookend offensive tackles. You have a good player in Tippmann at either guard or center. You have a number one wide receiver. You have a decent tight end in Mason Taylor. You have the opportunity to bring Brees back. Like, I don't think this is a dire situation. Like, the Patriots roster is not great. Mike Vrabel stepped in, coached up the quarterback, got the coaching staff higher correct, and turned it around. Look at the Bears. Look at the Jaguars. The Jets were better than the Jaguars a year ago. We act like this is like so. There's these long, complicated rebuilds. Stop. It's not how it works. People want to pretend like there's like this like real gradual process that it doesn't. We need to stop pretending it does. Mr. Chill says, I like the idea of Joe Brady. Again, I'll take anyone because I think this coach is that bad, especially if they're an offensive guy. Even if Brady sucks as a head coach, If he's the Robert Saleh but of offense, so we can develop our quarterback, eventually the next time we have an opening, we'll have candidates who want the job for that quarterback. Like the Giant job is not great outside of Dart, which makes the job better. See, quarterback. We have an opportunity to get a quarterback. Let's make sure that we have the right infrastructure for the coach for that quarterback. That's the problem. Joe, up next. What's up, Joe?
What's up, Jake? As of today, I spent 24 years on this place we call planet Earth, and last time this team has made the playoffs, I was 7 years old. And, you know, as time goes on and as I, you know, take in this Florida air, as I stay in an Airbnb on my 24th birthday, I sit on and I think, is this team ever going to get it right? Like, are they ever going to just get their head out of their own ass and just make the right choice? They're going to stick with, we're handcuffed to this coach, man. As unfortunate as I'm going to say it, we're handcuffed to this coach. And I think they're going to keep him for next year. And this team's going to suck next year. I pray to God that Dante Moore comes out next year, because a quarterback would at least make the job somewhat attractive to the next head coach in 2027, as well as the 3 first-round picks, if we do add the 3 first-round picks next year. But, man, it's getting bleak. More and more bleak as the years go on as I watch this team.
Joe, I can't argue with any of that. I mean, I hope, like anyone else, that if they do retain this coach, he proves me wrong, and I'd be happy to admit I'm wrong. I'm rooting for the guy. I know people don't think that because I'm so critical, but I feel like I have to be critical because I feel like I'm taking crazy pills when people try and blindly defend him. Notice not one person has called in and made the case why he's a good coach. The case has been made, could we get anyone better? Like, that's how low some of the fan base think. Nah, man, you don't just keep a guy around and let him pick the quarterback if you have no faith in him. Don't make the mistake that the Jets made when they allowed Mike McCagnon to spend the free agent money and draft players in 2019 for him to then be fired, and then Joe Douglas couldn't take over till June of that year. Again, the Jets are always reactive. They're never proactive. If they have doubts on Glenn, how could you not have doubts? Move on now. He's a defensive guy whose defense is historically bad, doesn't call plays, not an X's and O's guy. We need to stop. Franklin says, you could be critical. Don't sound like you're rooting. If you think I'm not rooting for the Jets, Franklin, you're hearing what you want to hear. I spend 4 hours a day talking about them. I make my living talking about them. When they lose, it's bad for business. Straight up. Everyone's views are down. Check your favorite content creators' views and compare them to other times throughout the year, right? September, for example. People act like it's good if they lose. It's not. I'm not sitting here, though, and not going to, voice my opinion. I'll be positive when it's warranted. I picked the Jets to win 12 games the last 2 years. This year, I went from 4 to 6. I shouldn't have. Should have stayed at 4. I gave Glenn too much credit. We don't need to pretend. Jay says Jake's not rooting for the Jets. I'll tell you what. I'm definitely not rooting for you, Jay, because you are among the bigger frauds that regularly tunes into this show. All you do is sit and complain and type. You never actually offer any solutions. You never actually answer any questions I ask you directly. Like, what does Aaron Glenn do well as a head coach? Since you can't answer those questions, why would we give you the opportunity to even type for the remainder of the show? There's no point. We have something called The Hole. That's where we could put you, and we don't have to worry about this anymore. Hence, what exactly I am going to do. Farewell.
Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
Again, Jay, you call in, you're immediately out of the hole, but you'll never call in. You'll never actually say what Aaron Glenn does well as a coach, why we should have blind faith in him, why he's the man, all that. We'll see you later. Farewell. Big fella in the Asmaniac raffle for 10. Now that is awesome. Big fella is also known as the Big Santa around these parts. Shout out to the big fella. 10 people just got gifted a channel membership.
Now, give me money. Or I shoot him. And I shoot all you motherfuckers. And then we take it. Your choice, bitches.
One of the people that got a membership is the big fella. He gifted himself. So did Dana Russell, Oscar the Grouch, Robert Van Berg, Franklin Fung, Stimmy, and Chris Brown, all receiving channel memberships. Congratulations to everyone who got a membership, and thank you to the big fella. Ladies and gentlemen, our last call today, before we do the raffle, is from our guy, Jake Ring. Jake, what do you got for us? Tremendous name.
Thanks. What's up, Jake? I just want to go over a couple points real quick. If you got like 5 minutes. So for defensive coordinator, obviously, unfortunately, Glenn's going to stick around. So I would love to bring in like Jim Leonard or Al Harris, but the only thing wrong with that is say they're a superstar and they save Glenn's job and we win a bunch of games. If that guy gets poached from us, do we expect him to make the right hire again? So I think it's probably smarter to go after like a Jim Schwartz or a Raheem Morris or Matt Patricia. But I think that's what I think for DC. What about you?
Yeah, look, all those names are great. I just wonder like how attractive is working for Aaron Glenn as his DC to someone, you know?
Yeah, I know. That's why I said Matt Patricia, because I feel like that would be his back into the league. You know?
I didn't hear you say Patricia. I'm out of. I didn't hear you say Patricia. I completely missed that. I thought you just said Jim Leonard and Jim Schwartz.
Yeah, I said Leonard and Al Harris would be good, but if they're if they're superstars, they get poached in 2 years. You know what I mean? A Jim Schwartz, a Raheem Morris, a Patricia probably aren't getting head coaching opportunities again. So.
Yeah, no on Patricia. Raheem Morris, maybe. I think Al Harris or Jim Leonard would be exciting. That's kind of where I'm at with some of those names.
Yeah, I probably lean more Jim Leonard on that because Al Harris is good, but him being the defensive pass game coordinator in Chicago, their feast or famine with the turnovers. It's kind of like when Giancarlo Stanton gets up. Me and you know that, being Yankees fans, it's home run or strikeout. You know what I mean? So that's how they are. If they don't get a turnover or turnovers, Chicago's defense, they give up about 400 freaking yards. So I don't know how I feel about him, but going to the quarterback real quick. Dante Moore, I'm with Benigno. I wouldn't give up picks for Dante Moore because he's more of a project guy. You know what I mean? He's got all the physical attributes. And are we going to coach this dude up? Are we the right staff to do that? Or would you rather go get the proven guy, Mendoza? You know what I mean? Who's more of the above the net quarterback? That makes more sense with the staff, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, Jake, I prefer Mendoza. If the Raiders take him one, there's nothing you can do.
No, I know. Then we're screwed. I don't know, but
I like Moore. See, I disagree with Joe. I'd be willing to trade up a little bit within reason to go from 3 to 2 if that's what it meant to secure more.
To go up to 2, yeah. To go up to 2 to get him.
Jake, I got to let you go. Your internet was cutting out. Again, I like Dante Moore. I would love to see how he looks here against Texas Tech on New Year's Eve, playing a really good defense. I don't have a great feel for whichever quarterback they end up with because I'm so down on the staff. Look, if Glenn sticks around, I don't know how he could, but let's say Woody doesn't fire him. You got to make major overhauls to the offense. Tanner Engstrand's job should not be safe, by the way. Can we be honest about that? All right. He's done nothing where it's like, I need to keep him at all costs. If you could get a clear upgrade, a proven commodity there, you should. Let's be honest. You should. I'm not saying they're going to, but Tanner Engstrand has not done enough where it's like, I can't move on from him no matter what. And at that point, if Glenn's firing Engstrand, if he does that on his own, and he already fired Wilkes, what did he do in his first year? What foundation was laid if you got rid of both your coordinators on both sides of the ball? Well, that's the concern. Bino says tabloids now burying the backtrack by Glenn. They should. Again, this is one of the more embarrassing press conferences a Jet coach has ever had. What we got today from AG. Not even just the quote about the effort backtracking on that. I think what he said at the end when asked for a specific reference to what the Jet brand is and where we've seen it. And he references they ran the ball well against Jacksonville. They were down 31-10 at halftime. They lost 48-20. He picked that game. Come on. I digress, though. I mean, what is there to say? Oh, pain. Ladies and gentlemen, are we ready for a raffle? I think we are. But first, we say hello to our master of raffle ceremony, Bruce Blubber.
And now, Ladies and gentlemen of the grand jury, are we ready for the raffle? It is time to spin the Jake Asman wheel of champions.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Oh yeah, folks. Here we go. Hey, good luck to everyone. A lot of people entered. But as we know, only one can win. But if you don't win, you might win a weekly prize because you're automatically entered for your chance to win that. Again, thanks to everyone for your support. You guys are the best. I know we're just so upset about the Jets, but you guys make it possible to talk about them year-round, Monday through Friday, 4 hours a day. So big thank you to the community, as always, for being locked in to the show. All right, here we go. If you win, you know the rules. Email me, asmanjake@gmail.com, your name, your address, player you want the jersey in, and the size you want it in, and we'll get it sent out to you this week. Good luck to all. But our winner this morning, it's not even the morning yet, but our winner this afternoon is NY Jets Man Cave. Shout out to NY Jets Man Cave. By the way, a member of our service. So thank you for your service, NY Jets Man Cave. Got a chance to meet Mr. Man Cave a couple times. He has a sweet Jet Man Cave. Let me say that. He showed me some photos. So congrats to him. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a show. Hit it, AG.
Just don't let go of the rope.
There's the rope for many of us. Anyway, I'll leave you guys with a clip. I was on NBC last night. Pretty cool experience for me. First time going on NBC's Sports Final. The anchor's John Chandler. Great dude. Really good at his job. So he invited me on. We did 2 segments, one on the Jets, one on the Giants. I posted it as a members-only video for YouTube channel members, and it's on Patreon if you want to watch the full 20 minutes. Here's a short clip that's been making the rounds on X because I was asked about Aaron Glenn, and, well, here was my part of my answer talking about the New York Jets head coach. Go Jets. Always. Talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching, and hang in there, Jet fans. We're all in this together.
I look at today, 42-10 against the Patriots team that's obviously much better than them, but they did nothing right today, and it just feels like not only did they lose this game, but it feels like Aaron Glenn is lost right now as a head coach of a team.
He has no answers. And again, this is a head coach who came in and said, we're here to win now and going forward. He preached player development. There's no one that has improved on this team. You can't name one player on defense that has actually been a positive. He's already admitted a huge mistake with his defensive coordinator hire. They fired Steve Wilkes. Hey, I guess it wasn't all Steve Wilkes' fault. Again, you have a defensive-minded head coach. They have broken an NFL record for 16 consecutive games without an interception. Aaron Glenn was a phenomenal cornerback in his day, had over 40 picks with the Jets. The fact that they don't have one, and most weeks, John, they don't come close. No. There's just so many red flags on top of the fact.
How do you not just get like a tip going your way? It's like, that is stunning to me. 0 interceptions.
It's remarkable. And then, you look at the hires on offense, right? Charles London, former college running back, mostly coached running backs. He's tasked with being the quarterback coach. With a first-time offensive coordinator, Tanner Engstrand, he comes over from Detroit as the pass game coordinator from the Lions. Well, Jared Goff's a drop back, pocket QB. So you bring in Justin Fields and say, we're going to let him play quarterback. We're going to coach him up. He's never been coached properly. It's insulting to Mike Tomlin and the Steelers. He went 4-2 in Pittsburgh last year. You guaranteed him a starting spot, $30 million all guaranteed for 9 games of Fields, and that's it. So now we're going to give Aaron Glenn a rookie quarterback and say, all right, it didn't work with your first big swing at the position. Now go take a Dante Moore or Fernando Mendoza or Ty Simpson and go make sure that they're in position to have success. It's just tough to sit here and buy that when this team is likely going to finish 3-14, and Aaron Glenn will join only Rich Kotite and Adam Gase as 2 Jet coaches to have 14 losses or more in any season. Glenn's doing this in year 1.
We're here to win now, and we're looking forward to it. So any questions? Just don't let go of the rope.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.